Well, sit down, take that lampshade off your head, and grab a cup of coffee. I'm going to need your full attention for a brand new episode of the world-famous podcast award-nominated Rage Select podcast. It was a long time ago that we were nominated.
Yeah,
I was
like,
mostly
what?
Grant that was like really into it, but
okay.
I could say that legit happened. I mean, of course we lost. I mean, it was like Giant Bomb, Rooster Teeth, and Rage Select, and Grant was like, maybe, and I'm like, No,
we wouldn't have been able to defeat Giant Bomb because we would have voted for Giant Bomb.
Yes, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't even vote for myself in that contest. Like, you know what?
I just think Jeff Gertzman's better than me.
Yeah, if the two of Jeffs are standing next to each other, I'll vote for him. Anyway, welcome back to the Rage Select podcast. I am Jeff, not Gertzman. I'm the regular. I'm Rage Select Jeff,
and I'm Mike, but I also watch Dragon Ball Z like Jeff Gertzman.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, and we got a weird week this week.
Yes,
it's a weird week. I've just been going nonstop since Monday. Like I've
been very busy.
I've been very, very busy this week. Getting a lot of stuff together. Just, you know, so many sequentials that are all going, and I feel like they're all popping at the same time. I had to take care. We got something new for the Asylum this year.
Oh yeah,
that ended up being like more work on one day, but less work on a lot of days. So I don't know. Hopefully, everybody will be happy with that. But before we get started, we should probably talk about that thing.
Yes. So Friday the 25th.
This is why I don't do cross promotion. I'm like, well, at some point in the future, yes, it is the 25th.
Yes, it's the 25th. There is an event that is being hosted at the Nomad Bar that Jeff tended to talk about a lot.
Yeah, back when I had money,
yeah.
I could go to bars.
Well, a lot of people that many of you might have followed are going to be there. It's called Attack of the Pod People.
Yeah.
It's going to be Friday the 25th at the Nomad Bar at 8 o'clock. You can find the event on the face pages through one of us, as well as, Junk Food Cinema. Castle of Horror is going to be there. Women in Caskets. The Night Owl. Some Double Toasted Peoples. 3 Cool Club. And one of us.net.
Yeah,
and us truly.
Yep,
are going to be there.
We're gonna be doing. I think it's gonna be you and me.
Yes, because Matt said he might stop by, and Amanda and John are on vacation at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're out of town for a week. So, but yeah, I think, and you know what? I'm looking forward to it because I mean, not that I like one of us, but. You and I have talked about this. My wheelhouse is not movies.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Transformers movies. I can't hang out with people that are like, bro, the theming. And I'm like, were there explosions? I love explosions. Like, I actually was looking for something to watch, like a movie to watch. And yesterday I went on Metacritic and I just started looking at like what were all the top movies from 2019 to look for like any that had come out on video that I had watched. And I mean, look, man, everybody's entitled to the movies that they want, but like everything that was over, say, 70% on Metacritic, it was like a young girl's coming of age story in rural Alaska, or like 2 brothers in the 1940s trying to overcome alcoholism and find themselves. And I'm just like, ninjas? And so I found one, Shadow. It's this Chinese movie from last year. Yeah.
I watched it for one of us, actually.
Yeah,
that movie's amazing.
It's pretty good. I kept expecting, it's so monochrome.
Oh yeah,
and I kept expecting at some point for there to be some really like some Schindler's List color blast that just made one thing stand out.
Yeah,
and it was like, nope. Everybody's dressed in black, white, or kind of just black on white. Not even gray, but just like black splotches on a white thing.
It's really cool.
But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I just watched a movie for one of us that was a super big indie film with Antonio Banderas that was only a Spanish-speaking film.
Oh.
And I was like, I really like this movie, but there's no way in hell I would tell a lot of different people to watch this movie because it's an arty film. Like, there's no way I would ask you to watch it kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's no way kind of thing. But there's something that I would think you might like, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I derailed. But I'm really excited for this event.
Yes, the
event. Because I feel like like you and I go there, we're going to have just a segment, right? It's going to be a big thing, and then we're going to have like a segment of it, and that you and I can set our agenda.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about fucking video games.
We're going to talk about games. We're going to talk specifically about Bubsy all night. No, we're not doing that.
Well, Bubsy is the most horrifying.
Yes, it's the most terrifying game in existence.
That's Halloween.
And its sequel, which is a constant runner, or whatever the fuck they're called.
Oh. Well, you're talking about the new ones.
Well, no, I'm talking about all of Bubsy.
The old one? Okay.
Because I'm just talking about how the newest one is the Endless Runner.
Yes.
Which is the most horrifying thing you could do and release on a console for some reason.
Better than the one before it that was just like a platformer, like an uninspired platformer.
Yeah, the
it's
one
like,
before it's really bad.
Bubsy, the rude, crude dude is back. And
it had the Bubsy talking meter.
Yeah.
So like how much you want him to say things.
No,
it was
zero.
Bad. It was really bad.
Anyway, we're going to talk about video games.
Yes.
Is it going to be live streamed?
I have no idea, actually, on that one. We would have to ask the person hosting it.
Okay,
which would be Chris in this instance.
Well, if you're in Austin, look this stuff up. Find Chris on Facebook or Twitter. Go to one of us. I'm sure that it's on there as well.
Yeah, I know Junk Food Cinemas also shared it as well.
Yes. And it's like $3 at the door. So like if you're in Austin for some reason and you don't have anything to do on a Friday night, come on and fucking hang out. It's gonna be karaoke, costume contest. I'm not going to dress up as anything. I'm going to spoiler alert, and I'm going to get really mad if anybody asks me what I'm supposed to be.
I should just lend you something.
Nope, I don't even want to. I'm going to come.
What if I buy you a Soldier 76 outfit?
I have a.
I mean, like the whole thing.
Oh,
like it's got the mask and stuff.
I have the jacket, but I'm too fat and I can't fit into it. So it's the saddest.
You don't have to
zip
it up. You can just wear it.
Yeah, it's nothing. If only there was a canonical fat Soldier 76, then I don't know.
People like that. Just be Dad Soldier 76. People love that shit.
Well,
I need the mask.
I need the mask, not the jacket.
See, I can get you the mask. I'll go get one.
I'll get you a mask by Friday. So before we jump into the news, so yeah, definitely go check that out. And before we jump into the news, I thought we'd go over a couple things. Did you watch El Camino last week?
I never saw Breaking Bad.
You never saw Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I watched El Camino. It was good. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, I would say definitely watch it. Like, it's a little kind of like exhausted like the entire time,
okay.
Which based on what it's what happens to the character of Jesse Pinkman after the end of Breaking Bad, because the end of Breaking Bad is ambiguous.
Yeah.
So it's basically just like a 2-hour movie about what happened to Jesse.
It's basically an epilogue.
Yeah. And it's kind of like it feels very kind of like just like kind of that, but just oh my god, oh Jesus. But I kind of liked it because of that, because it was like Breaking Bad has come to an ending, and this is like you beat you won the race, and then you just kept running while you were exhausted for another hour, and you're just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. But it was good.
That's good.
And then the both of us finished watching Gundam: The Origin last week. Because you asked me to get back into it, and I've been hungry for anything Gundam recently.
Yeah. And I realized I hadn't seen the last one.
Yeah.
So I decided to finally finish it.
It's pretty good. It got better. It's a little bit. It's a little bit more like Game of Thrones than I would have expected out of a Gundam story.
Well, it's very much like it's the entire thing. If anybody doesn't know this, or at least the anime version of it, it's the entirety of everything that's the everything that starts the 1-year war.
Right.
From like literally the second Zeon dies, Zeon Daikun, because they're actually named Zeon's actually named after a guy.
Yeah.
The second he dies, all the way until just before essentially the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
And it's so like it's so dramatic,
and it's all
every turn.
It's all kind of shown through the eyes of Char, basically. Yeah, it's interesting. It was funny because I started to realize about halfway through. Oh right, like all these people are people from 79 Gundam, like that red-haired lady, she's like a main character in the second half of the 1-year war.
You
type
see
of thing,
skinny Rumbo Rao, and that shit weirded me out.
Yes. But it's on Hulu. It's worth watching.
Yeah, both the sub and the dub are on Hulu.
Yeah, which. I feel like it's the first episode is a little. The problem is they're 1-hour episodes, and then as they get to 4 and 5 are both like 90-minute episodes.
They're both really long.
But like that first episode, the little ponderous because it's all set up. The second episode is also kind of a bit of ponderous setup.
It's a lot of betrayal is the first couple ones.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's betraying each other for like 3 hours.
And then
so it is like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But eventually they start getting into the actual like nitty-gritty of the war itself.
It also made me realize, I mean, they didn't have any choice in this because they had to use the characters that were named in the series that was made like 1970 or 60 or whatever. But everybody's got a Z name on the Xeon side. There's like it's the Xeon and I can't keep them all straight. I'm like, wait, who are you related to? You're whose son? Okay.
There's a lot of Z's in the Xeons. Zabi, and then there's Dozel.
I don't know. I had a hard time keeping all the politics straight. I was like,
There's a lot of cool stuff though. Like it shows the very first mobile suits being made.
Yeah,
it shows the guy who was named after the Minovsky particles.
Yep.
Shows him die, but also shows a lot of like interesting backstory. So some characters I never thought I would have wanted a bit of backstory for, but in a fun way.
The only problem with it, Michael, is that 0079 Gundam is not on the internet to watch.
Yeah,
like it's not on Netflix, it's not on Hulu, it's not on Patreon, it's not on Crunchyroll. Like Wing is, and
so is 00.
Stardust Memory, and like Unicorn, and full Iron Blooded Orphans. But like, you can't just go watch just like straight up old Gundam.
Yeah, and the way it ends is it just goes, and then Mobile Suit Gundam begins.
Right.
And then it's like, but good luck finding it. It might as well. The last thing it says.
Have fun with that, motherfucker.
I do love how like dramatic the announcer is at the end, though.
Yeah.
Where he's like, but who will survive? It's like, dude, I watched that show like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Charge Counterattack came out 2 decades ago. I know who survives.
Yeah. And the answer is no one.
Well, you know what?
Last thing I'll bring up though.
Yes.
The Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Oh,
I really, really liked it.
Okay.
Just that last part, I guess.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if we're gonna.
Yeah, I was getting ready to launch into it. So it held up. I don't know.
Because the Jay and Silent Bob reboot is it's a make fun of the idea of kind of the way movies are sequels, but they're not necessarily a sequel. They're kind of the same plot. And so it follows almost the same plot, but different enough to be different. Because the way it opens is basically that Jay and Bob were arrested for trying to sell weed out of the place next to the Quick Stop. They were then accidentally tricked into giving up their licensing name or their names license essentially.
Okay,
because they're going to make another Jay and Bob movie, another Blunt Man and Chronic movie, and so they're like, well, we're going to go to Hollywood to stop it. Again.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the plot of...
and Brody's just like Brody almost has the exact same conversation with them about it. It's like, don't tell me you guys didn't know about the other movie they're making about you guys. And they have this whole discussion about reboots and remakes and stuff. And like they even bring up The Force Awakens, and they're just like, well, I thought it was a sequel. It's like, well, it's not really a sequel. It's a reboot, kind of thing. And then, but there's a lot of... There's more younger characters because they introduced the idea that Jay actually had a kid with the woman from Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And so it's more about the relationship between Jay and his daughter, and him trying to keep her from knowing that he's her dad because the mom doesn't want her to know, kind of thing, because he's been gone for like this entire time.
Sure.
And it's actually really sweet because of it though overall, and I really, really enjoyed it.
So you're saying better than Yoga Hosers?
It's like 100 times better than Yoga Hosers. It's Kevin Smith's best film since like Red State. Honestly.
Okay. Which that was not my favorite movie of all time, but
Red State's okay.
Until the end. Anyway,
that's true though. I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
Let's jump into the news. We got kind of this week. We're going to be getting into like big block news stories. So we're probably going to kind of sit on some of these news stories a little bit longer. And unfortunately, we're going to begin this week with the same place we began last week, and that is Blizzard.
Yeah.
Oh, Blizzard.
Did they make another Death and Return to Superman?
Oh, Blizzard.
That's literally like one of the only games they made that I own.
This is the only Blizzard games you've made?
I own the Death and Return to Superman and Overwatch. That's it.
Diablo's a hell of it. I got like 4 copies of Diablo.
I played Diablo 2, but I don't own it now.
Oh, okay. So. I should loan you my I think I've got the Switch version of Diablo 3, and it's banging. But anyway, but what's not banging is Blizzard. So for anybody who didn't listen to last week, Blizzard has gotten themselves embroiled in this kind of whole thing where there was a Hearthstone caster that put on a gas mask and some goggles and basically said like freedom for Hong Kong, revolutionary time, and they shut him down. They shut down they banned him for a year, took his prize money, and they banned the 2 shoutcasters that were hosting the event, even though those 2 guys, it's not like haha funny, but it's just kind of like you kind of got to grin a little bit when he starts to say anything about Hong Kong and those 2 just dive under the desk. They just fucking like get their heads down as fast as possible.
They just hide and then go to commercial.
Right. We're like, when they play this clip back, we don't want our faces in here. So, okay, let's start at the beginning. Last week, the president of Blizzard came out and basically said they came out with a statement because they've been getting, I mean, internet fucked. Like, I think that's what we call it. Nobody's super happy. I don't feel like I've seen anybody. I think last week on the podcast, one person in the comments was like, corporations do whatever they want to. And I was like, well, that is true. I can also feel however I want to about whatever corporations do. So
yeah, that's how freedom of speech works.
Yeah, which it's just kind of pivotal in this case. So they came out and basically, okay, here's the nitty gritty. 1, they reduced his ban from a year to 6 months. 2, they let him keep the money that he won in the tournament that he was in.
Yeah.
But then they equivocated quite a bit and basically said, like, but we're still going to ban people who do this. And a lot of it is, what do they say? Like, if somebody else expressed the opposite position equally as vehemently, we would have banned them as well. And I'm gonna go out on a weird internet limb here. You guys need to fucking listen to me before you start typing your comment. But like, I can kind of understand a little bit Blizzard not wanting their because they're not saying that like if you type Hong Kong into the chat in Overwatch that your account will be banned. Like, these are official Blizzard tournaments, right? So like if somebody won an Overwatch tournament and they were interviewing them and they were like, Elizabeth Warren, fucking 2020, fuck Trump, he's a criminal, fuck him, to the Elizabeth Warren for life. I can imagine people being like, this is not the point of this. By the same token, what is happening in Hong Kong is significantly more
it's
difficult than fucking Democratic primaries.
Well, that's the issue with it, is that the reason their stance isn't actually all that unheard of is because that's what a lot of places do. That's one of the reasons why they say, well, part of their contracts and stuff like that, our politics cannot be involved, is because normally they're expecting it to be a weird American kind of politic thing,
right?
But they're expecting a guy to just be like, well, I think Hitler wasn't so bad. Like, they're expecting, like, that's what the rule's for.
Yeah,
it's for that type of guy using that kind of weird fucking politic thing. It's just that this happened to happen literally a week after the NBA thing happened.
I think it happened before that.
No, it happened like right after.
Oh.
Like, that was the thing, because the NBA thing happened, there was a few days, and then this happened.
Oh.
And in between that, the South Park thing happened.
Yeah.
It was a whole week that just like was the perfect storm of like everyone having this sort of thought process.
Yeah.
That just fucked them as hard as possible.
Yeah. But unfortunately for Blizzard, I mean, like, this is one of the few times that I'm going to be like, this is the internet, and when you try to shut people up on the internet doesn't like that.
No.
Like, I understand what you're saying, and I understand your rationale, even though I don't think it's bullshit, but like, this is...
It was the reaction that I think it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to sort of like ban them. It was how extreme everything was.
Yeah, and how it and banning like the shoutcasters as well.
Yeah.
When they didn't do anything, the whole thing just came off as pandering to the Chinese market.
It absolutely did.
Because the problem here is that, okay, I kind of understand. On the other hand, we all know that like if you say anything about China at all, the NBA thing goes back to that.
Yeah.
That like, they fucking go nuclear from the minute one. Like, there's no negotiation. It's just like, fuck you, fuck your mother, you're banned in China, get out of here. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You can't do business with us anymore.
You make a joke about them and you're completely banned from
right.
ever doing business with anybody.
You put a Winnie the Pooh joke in your video game and your fucking business license gets revoked. That's happened.
It's literally all or nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's not a good look for Blizzard.
No.
Like, giving the guy back. I mean, like, I say it's nice that they gave him back his money that he won in a tournament, right? He didn't punch one of the hosts in the face, or I don't know.
He didn't show his dick on live stream.
Yeah, show his dick on Twitch or anything. Like, maybe let the guy keep his earnings at least. I think 6 months might be a little much, but again, I don't know. A lot of people have brought up the hypothetical scenario. It's like, so if you had somebody that was playing in in a Hearthstone tournament, and when they got to their part, and they just said like, this win is great for everybody. I just like to thank everybody that supported me. I believe in trans rights, and this is a great victory for everybody. Like, is that 6 months suspension, no prize money? Like
where's the line?
Yeah, basically. Exactly. The problem here is that you've got this dumb clause that just makes it so that the company can kind of set the bar wherever they want to.
Yeah.
And so then you end up with shit like this. So maybe Blizzard thought that they were going to do this, and then that would be the end of it. Oh no, not the end of it. One of the most interesting things that happened this week is that a bunch of congressmen, the United States congressmen, wrote a letter to Blizzard, basically asking that they do away with the Blitzchung suspension. Michael, I'll read They wrote it to Bobby Kotick because he's the Activision CEO, and Activision owns Blizzard, right? But I want to read you the list of representatives that signed on to this letter, because I'm going to read. I'm going to save two of them. I'm going to rearrange them. But Ron Wyden, Mike Gallagher, Tom Malinowski, Marco Rubio, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Marco Rubio?
So, like, Marco Rubio and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez both signed this thing that was sent to Bobby Kotick. It's like, I didn't think the two of them, I thought if they ever got within a foot of each other, that it would just be murder ball, right?
Yeah,
that's
the thing.
The purge at that point.
Like, her makes sense. The Marco Rubio one does not.
Well, but see, that's the thing, is that, Republicans are libertarian free speech advocates, right? So, like...
Are they, though?
I mean, like, a lot of them are.
I don't know. That's the thing, is that's what makes it strange. I don't know, like, Marco Rubio is, like... He's the punching bag of a lot of the internet kind of thing.
Yes.
And that's what makes it kind of interesting that he would be down with this sort of thing. I don't know. It's just fucking weird to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is just a letter, but I mean, like, it says something when the legislative branch of the United States government is sending your business a letter saying, like, hey, you should probably ease the fuck off of this shit, because, like, the last thing that you want is for people to basically think that you'll just do whatever China wants in order to get the money out of China. Like I said last week, there's a point where, okay, you can either believe in freedom of expression and free speech or make lots of money.
Yeah.
And you have to now choose, like, and I feel like they keep thinking that there's a way for them to go down the middle of that, where it's like, well, we'll restrict some speech and then we'll make most of the money. And it's like, that may have been true before, but, like, at this point, especially like you said, with, like, the back-to-back of the NBA stuff and the Blizzard stuff, it was just like, I feel like a lot of people were just like, oh shit, I didn't realize that China had this much control over, like,
absolutely,
what people can say or do, or that the control that they want to exert in their country is now oozing through companies into the things that we can do here. Yeah,
because at first it was a running gag among people who follow film.
Yeah,
really, because in film, there was always talks about like I always bring up Iron Man 3 the most when I bring up this up, because Iron Man 3 in China was made fun of in China a lot by Chinese people, because they had an entire subplot involving the doctor who takes the shrapnel out of his chest at the end of the movie.
And that was cut out of the American movie, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't think I've ever seen that part.
Yeah, exactly. Because you see the doctor himself and this one specific Chinese actress in the movie at the very end, because like, that's what we saw, but on their
like
side
20 more minutes of footage or something.
There's this whole thing where, like, he's talking about, like, it's like, what should I do about, like, helping people. They even, like, there's a scene where he's surrounded by, like, a bunch of kids, and there's a guy dressed as Iron Man hanging out with him kind of thing, and flies away. And there's a point, like, just before...
Is this after all the suits blow up?
I don't actually...
What point in the movie does this happen?
I don't actually know when it happens in the movie. I've seen the scenes on YouTube.
Okay.
One of the other ones is that he gets the call about, like, getting the shrapnel out, and he's like, I have to help Iron Man or whatever. It's like, what is this?
So it's like a whole other character from China. Okay.
Yeah, and he's still in the original movie, or not the original, but the American movie.
Yeah.
He's just at the very end, the doctor who takes the shrapnel out, and she's still in the movie. She's just walking down a hallway or something. But in China, it's this whole fucking section of the movie. And and apparently they made fun of it like crazy over there because they're like, what is this? What is all this?
We came to watch American movies, not to we understand when you're pandering to us.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons they somewhat dialed it back.
Yeah.
But they've only dialed back what they insert in it, but now they're removing shit like crazy though.
Yeah.
To appease these guys.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. And then that has led to apparently a bunch of groups that are popping up online planning to launch a bunch of protests at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Which is coming up pretty soon.
That's the thing. BlizzCon is like what? Like a week or two or something like that?
Something like that. It's pretty soon. And yep, there's apparently a subreddit for it. Some Facebook groups of people kind of getting together to go out and try to picket outside of it and get the signs and shit. And it's like,
I heard somebody who really wants to show up dressed like Winnie the Pooh.
Do it. I think you should. I still think that the most subversive thing I've seen is the whole turning May into a protester.
Oh my God.
Because it's like, what do you do, Blizzard? Are you going to take May out of Overwatch? If you do that, then we all know which side of the bread your butter's on.
Absolutely.
But if you don't do that and May becomes like a subversive person, then like, will China let you play Overwatch in China?
That's I don't know, man. Like, it's an entire thing. Like, this is, I don't know. Like, it's hard to really explain how important this entire discussion is to the idea of not just games but all of media.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's basically come up to this. It's pushed all the way to the point of basically, do you want free speech or do you want Blizzard to make or it's what it is. It's up to every person, right?
Yeah.
I think that you should just, if you disagree with what Blizzard's doing, you should stop playing Hearthstone. You stop playing Overwatch. You stop playing World of Warcraft Classic. You should stop playing Diablo and play, because this is the thing. There's, Path of Exile if you're playing Diablo, and there's, what's that Legends, there's that company that made that like super, it was just a big Overwatch ripoff.
Oh.
It's like a free-to-play one. I forget
I know what you're talking about. I don't
called.
remember the name. Yeah.
There's them. There's like, you could be playing Gwent or the Elder Scrolls card game. Like, there's a lot of things that you could be playing instead of Overwatch if you disagree with them. Like, I'm not putting out a call and saying I believe everyone should do it. I think you have to look inside and say, what's more important to me, playing Overwatch or supporting a company that seems to be kind of doing some fucked up shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But by the same token, we've talked a lot on these podcasts over the years about, what? When the Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, I'm probably going to play it. But we know that the working conditions at CD Projekt Red are pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to kind of decide whether they're, like, some actions are worse or bad enough that you're going to say, I want to send a statement by playing a different video game.
It's difficult
than this one
for a lot of people because, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption 2 are another good example of, like, there's horrible conditions going on at Rockstar, but I've been waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2 for like ages, kind of thing. It's like, well, what is your thought process, kind of thing?
Yeah, and it's actually most of the guys on the Watch Out for Fireballs. They actually had an episode that was kind of, they were talking about art, the art and the artist, like separating the art and the artist. And I think it's the sort of thing where you can actually do both those. You can care about what Blizzard is doing and still play Overwatch.
Yeah.
But it's good to be able to kind of think about both of those things. And if you feel strongly enough, take action.
Exactly.
Anyway, as we continue on, this is only like the third story. There's like 4 or 5 stories. So last week there was a college team. I think it's the same team from last week that after they got done with one of their things, they held up a sign that was like Free Hong Kong, boycott Blizz, and they've gotten a 6-month suspension now. At the time last week, they hadn't had anything slapped on them, but now it's like they've got the same basic thing that happened to Blitzchung. So we could see that this is starting to, because they looked stupid last week when this horribly draconian thing on a person, in an Asian country, and then like a bunch of U.S. college white kids do it. It's just like, they can do whatever they want.
Whatever they want to do. Yeah, sure. America, I guess.
Yeah. But we definitely know that Blizzard's feeling a little bit of the sting because they canceled the Switch version of Overwatch came out this week, and they were going to have a big launch in New York. And they canceled it just out of the blue. We're like, no, we're not doing that. And then they also canceled this big, or they postponed this big World of Warcraft Classic event that they were going to be doing in Taiwan until hopefully this stuff kind of simmers down a little bit. So,
yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yep. I'm kind of the same mind that I was last week, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like you feel relatively similar about it. It's just this is not a good look for Blizzard.
No,
it's one of those things where. I feel like, okay, as somebody who has started a company, as much as you can call this podcast in my second bedroom a company, it's like, it's real easy to be like, well, I believe in as an example, right?
I believe integrity.
Say, yeah, I'm going to start a video game website, and I'm going to believe in free speech, and I'm not going to censor anything. I think censorship is wrong, and I'm not going to censor anybody. And then let's say that somebody comes in your comment section and just starts being like the most heinous and disgusting troll you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you're like, will you please stop? And they're like, bleep, bleep, you're bleeping bleep, you bleep and bleeper. And you're like, please, I would not like to inhibit anyone's free speech. I do not want to ban you. Because we've seen what unrestricted free speech is like 8chan, right? So like 8chan doesn't ban anybody, and we've seen what that looks like. So you can start out with these intentions, but there comes a moment where a lot of times your values are going to be put to a hard decision.
Yeah.
Like, okay, freedom and integrity, do you really believe in that? Or is there a price? Is there a dollar amount high enough that you'll be like, well, mostly freedom and integrity.
Like if Jeff was called up by the Chinese government for some fucking reason and they offered him a fuck ton of money, like it's just one of those things. It's like, well, it's a tough call from everybody, but like it's at the end of the day, it's up to the person.
It'd be, you know what? If like the Chinese government called me up and they said, we want to buy your website for $1 million and we want to give you, Jeff, $1 million, and we don't want you to do anything but stop talking about China altogether.
Yeah, entirely.
For $1 million. That would be very hard for me because difficult. I'm eating peanut butter sandwiches and cabbage. Like, I am not a man with much means. And like $1 million could mean that I could do Rage Select without having to worry about it means that I could get a relatively a house set up and paid for, and a car and all the stuff that I need, and have enough money left over to probably live my life for the rest of my life with the right kind of investment. And it's like, do you take basically a buyout so that you can live the rest of your days in like relative obscurity and peace, or do you fight? And I don't know the answer to that question.
That's the thing. It's difficult.
It's hard to know until somebody brings it up, until somebody brings it to you. So it's
like winning the lottery. Like, you don't know what you're going to do afterwards.
Exactly.
Even though you say you know, but the odds are you don't.
Yep. Well, from there, let's talk about a few things that are not Chinese related. Overwatch Halloween Terror is back with new costumes.
Yay.
I don't know. I don't feel like these costumes are a little, I don't know. They're like, I feel like they did all the good ones, and this is like year 5, and they're just like,
there's the mummy one's kind of nice.
There's a mummy and the Scorpion Widowmaker.
She looks like a Power Ranger villain, though.
Yeah.
There's an actual Power Ranger villain that looks like that.
I like Lucio Medusa head snakes a little bit.
That one is pretty cool.
We were talking before we started about how they're bringing back Junkenstein's Revenge, and it's kind of like, guys, I've been playing Junkenstein's Revenge for 4 years now. Like, come on,
it's not super interesting anymore.
Yeah, give me something new.
I do like the McCree looking one though.
Oh, kind of like undeadish one
kind of thing. I think it's a nice outfit.
So that's showing up. From there, let's go ahead and roll on over to Fortnite. Big news last week on Fortnite. I think it was like Saturday or Sunday of last week. A giant black hole swallowed up the island and all of Fortnite. I actually got a video because I don't play Fortnite.
I don't either. Yeah. I literally discovered it way after the fact.
But yeah, so everybody got sucked into this giant black hole, and then Fortnite was just gone. Like, there was nothing there but a live stream of a black hole on their streaming page.
It's crazy to me,
with no information whatsoever. What's crazy to me is the fact that they left it like that for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Like, Fortnite's big fucking business, man. I don't even know how much money you lose in 2 days of not letting anybody play Fortnite.
Well, it's the fact they made it an event.
Yeah.
Like, it was because it turns out it was basically them resetting up everything, like, I guess, because there was a lot of new stuff now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Kind of thing. But like, it's like any other place would have been like, we're gonna have some downtime for a couple days. We're gonna try to get everything set up, kind of thing. They made this an entire event. They didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah,
like, it's ballsy as hell what they continue to do with it.
Yep, 100%. So they did that, and then 48 hours later, we got Fortnite Chapter 2.
Attack of the Clones. Sorry, I had to say it.
Which has added like a bunch of new stuff. First thing, the whole map has been revamped, reworked together. There's like fishing, there's boats, there's like new areas, there's new weapons. Apparently, like on the, I don't know if it's on the consoles, but on the PC, it's now like pickaxe is now just like a button that you press. There's like a hotkey for pickaxe. You can pick up people when they're downed and take them away from the battlefield. Like, I say it all the time, but I cannot stress how happy in some ways Fortnite makes me, because it's like, even I can't think of, there's not an MMO that iterates this frequently.
No.
There's not a like Anthem or Call of Duty. Nothing iterates like Fortnite. Every 3 months there's something new in Fortnite. Like, it's a new event or a new weapon or a new challenge or a new mode. They had the food fight mode, and the weird John Wick is in here. Then the Batman was like 3 weeks ago or something like that.
It started off so innocently too, like stuff with like shopping carts and kind of thing, and then like PUBG is just like, well, you can like kind of jump now, I guess, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then PUBG is like, it's that old meme thing where it's just like you're hanging out somewhere and you keep looking on the other side and there's something really cool happening on the other side and you're just like, why the fuck am I over here?
Actually, I read another story this week that it turns out that PUBG Mobile in Q3 was like the highest earning Android app on the entire platform.
Oh, okay.
So
good for them.
But anyway, this shit makes PUBG look stupid.
It always does.
Fucking stupid. Like, not only that, but it's just like it it's so nice, like all the way that the game looks. It's got a nice style to it.
It's got a personality.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
So, and also apparently the bots they were talking about have been added in. Like, I was reading somebody that says that this is speculation, where they were like, I was in a match, I seem to be winning more often, and like I was in a match and I shot some people and they didn't seem to be like helping their teammates or dodging around as much. So they weren't identified as bots, but they think they might have been bots.
It's possible. That or a 10-year-old finally discovered Fortnite. It's possible. I heard Angel gets their wings every time that happens.
Could have been someone's first time playing the game. But yeah, there's a bunch of new stuff.
Mike was going to come on. It was going to be the big brother. I'm sorry, it wasn't me. I let my brother play. There's no way I could have lost like that.
Oh yeah, upgrades. You can upgrade weapons. You can hide in haystacks like Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
There's There's just all kinds of crazy shit.
Fish for health. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what? I feel like there's a lot of people in the world who are. There's a lot of like old school gamers who hate Fortnite, and they're just like, "Fuck Fortnite!" But you're 14-year-olds, fucking, I'm playing Call of Duty over here. Fuck you, babies, with your Fortnite. I'm like, man, if you like Fortnite, good for you. Because before this, it was
Minecraft.
It was Minecraft, and before Minecraft, it was every Nintendo game that ever came out. And like before, I mean, like,
well, it's the old adage where it's like, the first people playing games are like, oh, you like this Super Mario Brothers thing, but they're really in the Pac-Man kind of thing,
right?
Or then the Super Mario Brother guys are like, oh, you're really into this Final Fantasy kind of. Like, every time there's another game, where the guy prior is just like, why do you like that? What are you stupid? And like hell, that almost happened to me with Halo, and I was like, oh, you like Gears of War now? What the hell's wrong with you people? Halo is where it's at, kind of thing. It's just what it is. Every single time there's a new thing.
I think everybody should like what they like. That includes Lady Gaga, who, speaking of Fortnite last week, was on Twitter and basically kind of broke the internet a little bit by tweeting just, "What is Fortnite?" And
I love everything about that sentence.
And yeah, apparently, like it just like the internet just started fighting to tell her what Fortnite was as fast as they possibly could.
That's amazing.
And then at one point, Ninja slipped into her DMs and just said, "Call me on the telephone. I'll give you a million reasons to play You and I," which is from Lady Gaga's song "Telephone."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then I actually saw another one where then after that she wrote, "What is Ninja?" And I think Lady Gaga's just trolling y'all.
She might be. She loves the Muppets, so it feels like something that they would have done.
I'm just glad to say anything about Lady Gaga. I haven't heard about her since, I guess, when she was on the American Horror Story.
Well, I heard recently she fell off the stage or something.
Oh, yeah. That happened like yesterday or something. Yeah. Fell off the stage in Las Vegas and a fan caught her.
Yeah.
She was wearing those big boots or whatever.
It was really like, I was like, oh, sweet Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus.
Should we just like update our poll for what we're going to play while we're doing this podcast?
Just Lady Gaga only.
So we're going to play the Lady Gaga game.
Yeah. Rock band Lady Gaga songs only.
Yeah, rock band Lady Gaga songs. That's a new sequential. Until we get 5 stars on Expert on every Lady Gaga rock band song.
Fun fact, the South Park version of Poker Face came on to Rock Band way before the actual version of Poker Face ever was actually on Rock Band.
Nice. And one last Fortnite story. So there was the giant black hole surge, and apparently, you know how Pornhub loves to put out their stats. Apparently, when the black hole happened, searches for Fortnite on Pornhub went up 152% because...
Why?
Well, so here, I don't know. Maybe you're 16 and you're frustrated and you got to rub one out and you want to rub it out to Fortnite. I don't know.
Maybe it's a force of habit kind of thing. They're used to typing Fortnite.
Maybe
but now they're on Pornhub and they just automatically type it.
Maybe it's a thing where a lot of people, they play Fortnite and then, you know, when they're done playing Fortnite, it's time for bed and they just got to
rub one out.
Pop open Pornhub.
Just get tired.
And they were just
sleepy.
like, well, I was going to play Fortnite. I need to be looking at Fortnite at some point. So, but see, I wasn't brave enough to look, Michael.
I'm tempted now.
There's got to be Fortnite porn, right?
There has to be.
I mean, the Overwatch porn is off the fucking charts, right? So there's got to be Fortnite. The League of Legends porn is off the charts. There's got to be Fortnite porn out there.
It's just people doing what is that dance? What is it called?
The floss.
The floss. They're just flossing on people.
Yeah.
And then, but they're flossing and like, I don't want to describe it.
Also, the searches for black hole on Pornhub went up by 9,640%.
Oh my God.
And Pornhub actually tweeted, "We have better holes to stare at than #Fortnite."
Oh God.
Because you remember, like, nobody knew when Fortnite was coming back. It was just a live stream of the black hole. So anyway, I love Pornhub. I love the fact that they put out that they use their analytics to say these terrible things about people.
They love to fuck with people, and I love them for that.
All right, well, now we got to speed it up. Call of Duty.
I debated looking up the thing, and I'm going to put my phone down.
You do that later, my friend. Not in my house. Last week, we found out that Call of Duty is not going to have loot boxes. They are going to have a battle pass, though. So, which is...
People are more accepting of battle passes again. Because of the loot box situation.
Battle Pass is like, at this point, the Battle Pass is like it's just paid DLC pack, right?
Yeah, basically.
Because the difference between a loot box is you get to see everything you're going to get on the Battle Pass. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool. I mean, last year, Call of Duty's had loot boxes for the last 2 entries?
I think so.
Since World War II?
I heard it was like super ridiculous though.
I feel like people were more mad about the fact that Spec Ops mode was coming to the PS4 with a 1-year exclusivity deal.
Well, for the recent stuff, yeah. But the last game, they said that the loot box was like it fucked the whole situation with a lot of them.
Black Ops 4?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I heard at least.
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset about that back then, but they're still very upset about the Spec Ops thing.
Yeah,
because it's a whole year. By then, another Call of Duty game is going to come out. So
kind
of destroys the point.
But I mean, hey, you don't like loot boxes? No loot boxes.
Yeah, good for them.
I mean, if I could make the video game industry a deal, and they were like, we're going to take all the loot boxes out, we're going to put in battle passes instead. I'm kind of okay with battle passes. Like,
I'm more okay with past stuff now, and than I am with loot boxes.
Because I mean, at least you can look and see what you're going to get.
Yeah, because it's shifted is really what it is. It's shifted back towards the past thing, and I'm okay with that, to be honest.
I mean, I would love to back all the way up to just it's all in the game, but
I would too.
That's not going to happen.
But I'm gonna take what I get.
Yeah. Well, speaking of online games and loot boxes, when you're playing Gears of War 5 and you get mad, you better not rage quit, Michael, because apparently quitting mid-match in Gears 5 can now net you a 2-year ban.
Oh my god!
From Gears 5, which is pretty draconian.
That sucks for the guy with the really bad internet.
Yeah. Well, there's already been a bunch of stuff where people are complaining that they've been unjustly banned and stuff like that. But yeah,
I was just losing. I don't know what the issue was.
Right. I that sucks. I do kind of wish that there was some kind of penalty in every time somebody drops out of my Gundam game when I'm playing it. I'm just like, you son of a, because it's like 6-on-6, man, and like the one person could be the difference between us winning or losing here.
Well, that when you're waiting for a match to start and it's like completely full, but then the one guy leaves.
One guy won't get out of the selection screen.
Those are painful.
The counts all the way down, and you're just like, God damn it! But yeah, so hey, if you're gonna play Gears of War 5, hope your internet connection's good and you don't like to rage quit. Have you ever done that? Have you ever just like quit out of a match and been like, fuck this, and just
I did more when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I was just like, I'm just done. I'm not having fun with this anymore. As an adult now, I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like, if I win or I lose, I'm just happy to be playing.
Yeah, me too. Kind of calmed down a little bit. Well, when you're sending people nasty messages about rage quitting Gears of War 5, Microsoft has some new tools that you can use. Actually, specifically the person getting the message can use.
Interesting.
This is weird. I don't know why this hasn't been a thing earlier, but apparently there's a bunch of new message settings that you can switch on the Xbox One where you can literally switch. Like, there's just a bunch of different things, like text received in messages. Do you want, like, how much do you want to block, right?
Okay.
And then, like, media, do you want to set a filter for that? Do you want to
are you worried about getting dick pics?
Turn it off entirely?
Yeah.
And there's even a setting that's like, when we block something, do you want to have the option to unblock it and look at it if you feel like it, or should it just constantly be blocked? So it's interesting. I kind of feel like this is something that should have been done years and years and years ago, especially considering what the Xbox's reputation for kind of online badness, because I feel like it's been Xbox Live that has had kind of like the worst reputation.
It's always the arena. It started off the "I'll fuck your mom" sort of thing, or I fucked your mom situation.
Yeah,
is really what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, there was that website called Fat Ugly Slutty that was just nothing but people sharing messages that they got on Xbox Live.
Oh yeah,
so
it was a whole thing for a long time.
I feel like it's how long has it been? It's been like 2 decades, and now they're finally just do something about it.
Well, now everybody uses Xbox Live parties, and so no one talks to each other anymore.
There you go.
It's the best way of doing it.
In more kind of people being upset news, apparently Katsushiro Harada, who is a guy that works for Bandai Namco, he's one of like the Tekken guys, and apparently they work on like some Smash content for Smash Ultimate, and basically came out this week and was just like, if you do nothing but spam me with the names of people that you want in Smash, I'm going to block you. So like, I consider that to be like, discourse is fine, but if you're just like, Master Chief, I'm gonna block you, I'm gonna mute you, and you need to go fuck yourself. Like, it was just kind of
Harada's a very interesting person, though. He always has, like, he's apparently part of the reason why Tekken 7 has so many crazy fucking characters in it.
Okay. But yeah, I think it's pretty funny. I can only imagine what it's like to be somebody that has to deal with this stuff.
Oh, I would hate to work. That's where that's why there's a meme about Sakurai just being like, just never ask me for anything ever again. Like every time he comes out with a new character,
Yeah.
it's like, stop asking me. And there's no Goku's not going to be a thing. Stop it.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of bringing characters into new franchises, Capcom has talked about how with the success of Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, they want to look at bringing back dead IPs or old IPs they have that haven't been made in a while. So I don't think anybody's actually said anything about this, but everybody I feel like has their fingers crossed for Darkstalkers and Dino Crisis.
Absolutely. I'm also hoping for more Captain Commando.
Of course you are. And Bionic Commando?
Yes, also Bionic Commando. I didn't want to say it because I know you were gonna say that.
I don't know. All I know is that I feel like it's been Matt Frank's day was great today. This is the one half of that day.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about the other half later.
Dino Crisis is one of those games that I was a big fan of.
I've never played it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's just Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs. Like literally, like it played exactly the same as the original.
Is it a horror game?
Yeah, it was a horror game. It was like I said, it was literally Resident Evil games, but instead of zombies, they were dinosaurs.
Okay.
Like instead of like a dog flying through a window, it's a giant fucking T-Rex head trying to eat you.
Okay.
Good times.
Fair enough.
They made like two or three of them.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never played them.
Good times.
Let's see. In further news, we got it. This is one that I put on here. I don't know. This is a weird story, and I don't know why anybody thought it would be any other way. But last week, there was some information on the website for Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE that showed that they were going to be using I say obviously, but apparently the internet was holding its breath. So you know how they changed a lot of they kind of desexified a lot of Tokyo Mirage Sessions when they brought it from Japan to America. Yeah. You know, made the main character 18 instead of 16, and
which was a good idea. Yeah.
You know, not as many panty shots, and like closed up a lot of tops and like less boobage and stuff. I think a lot of people were thinking that when the Switch version came out, it was going to be the Japanese version. But it's not. It's just a port of the Wii version from America with all the censorship. So if for some reason you were thinking that was a thing, it's not.
Good luck with that, though. Go to Pornhub. I'm sure you'll find the original.
I look. The thing is that I first saw this. Every so often, I like to go to One Angry Gamer and just like see what the bad end of the internet is like.
Yeah.
And I went there and I saw this story, and then I went down to the comments, and you would have thought that they had cut like 8 acts out of the game, and like, and then I went to go look like, well, what has been cut out of the U.S. because they were the people that were talking about were like the only true way to really see the story for this game is to play like one of the hacked ROMs where they added all that stuff back in, and I'm like, well, what did they add back in? And it's like, there's a swimsuit like chapter. One of the chapters. Okay, this is the one thing I will say about this is that one of the chapters is about a woman or like a photographer who's been corrupted and has become very like pervy and porny and is like kind of exploiting these women. And they changed all of that. And it doesn't make as much sense because it's just now it's about like self-image as opposed to this real kind of like pervy thing. But otherwise, I don't know. I played all the way through that game. I thought it was fine. I don't know. All right, let's zip through the rest of these. Good news for John Sitton this week because Control's photo mode got added in.
And he's using it.
Yep. I was recording an episode of Control with Amanda on the day that happened, and then when we went on break, I was just like, oh, look, 5 posts from John on Twitter of Control pictures. So,
it didn't take very long.
No.
But by God, I love him for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a good-looking game, so
yeah, absolutely.
It's very interesting looking.
If anything needed a photo mode, it was Control.
Yeah. From there, we got some trailers. Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC looks real nice. I don't know really what else to say.
I can't wait till Master Chief is in Red Dead Redemption 2 is what I have to say.
Yeah, I'm less excited for the PC. I mean, like, well, I was talking to you before about how, like, I have a different perspective on this because, one, my PC won't run this game, and two, I'm currently playing all the way through Red Dead Redemption 2 again, the slowest way humanly possible.
Prepare for them lightsabers.
How long do you think it'll be before somebody mods out the mountain, the snow, and just like
probably 24 hours?
Yeah, You get the Padawan mod for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Or they're going to add a, what the fuck is the name of that monster from The Empire Strikes Back? The Wampa.
A Wampa?
They're going to add a Wampa to the mountain sequence to make it more interesting.
I can't wait for the mods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to play them because I don't have a $5,000 computer.
I don't either, but I can't wait to watch the internet go fucking nuts.
Yeah, me too.
Spider-Man's going to be in it and be able to fly and shit. It's going to be the best.
Yep. We got a new trailer for the Gigantamax trailer for Pokemon Sword and Shield. They're a big Pokemon.
Yes.
I don't know how much more I can say about this.
Chunky Pikachu's back, y'all.
Gigantamax Pikachu.
Oh, Lord, he's coming. Pikachu is now a thing.
And Eevee is in there, and we saw Charizard. Meowth is like a real long boy.
It's a long boy fucking cat.
He's a big long boy cat. Apparently,
the whole thing. Memes are fucking taking over the world, guys.
And we've only got it's like next month, right?
Yeah, it's very, very soon.
So, I don't know that I have a whole lot else to say about this though, because I
think it's cool.
I don't really know anything about Pokemon, except the long Meowth is weird. Does he still talk when he's gigantic?
I think only one actual Meowth talks, though.
Oh, it's only the Team Rocket one talks?
Yeah, that's what I think is actually the thing about those cats.
Okay. And then finally we got a launch trailer for The Outer Worlds. I could not be more excited for this game.
It's super exciting.
It's funny. I wonder if the people that wanted another New Vegas or another kind of game like this, another Fallout game, are going to be put off by the fact that it seems very cheeky, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem as serious as any of the Fallout games or New Vegas. So
yeah, like you brought this up before we recorded, where it's closer to a Borderlands-y type. What's the word looking for?
Like sense of humor.
Yeah, sense of humor.
Yeah,
than anything else, but in a good way.
Yeah, except it seems less just like like nudging you every 4 seconds. Like, get it?
It's less Tiny Tina cursing and more like the funner side of it.
Yeah, I can't wait. And not just that, but we learned last week that it's going to be on Game Pass,
which is crazy to me.
Which, like, again, I'm not this podcast is not just an ad for Game Pass. Microsoft didn't give me $1 million, or else I would have answered the China question a lot differently earlier. But but like that's a $60 whole fucking game.
That's crazy.
Like you could buy 6 months worth of Game Pass for the cost of that one game, and it'd be fine. Like
is it this Friday?
It's coming Friday. Well, this podcast comes out on Sunday.
Oh yeah, so
it's the Friday of this week.
Yeah, because it's the same day as Medieval and
Call of Duty.
So
yes,
it's gonna be a very important Friday.
Yes. However, this is an interesting thing. So you remember how Microsoft bought Obsidian?
Yeah.
Apparently, on the Xbox One X, The Outer Worlds will have like 4K enhancement. And apparently on the PS4 Pro, it will not.
Interesting.
Which is a little strange. Basically, it says 4K on the Xbox One, no enhancements on PS4 Pro. So I don't even know if it does 4K on the PS4 Pro.
That's fascinating.
Which would be really strange. And I wonder if that's like Microsoft's doing, or like they just, I don't know what. I mean,
it's possible. It's possible it might be a Microsoft thing, but it also might just be a time thing. Maybe since Microsoft bought them, they had more time to work on that part of it. And then, for all we know, there might be an update later on for the PS4. Who knows?
Maybe. But the fact that they both have the same guts, right? They're both PCs.
Yeah, makes
me wonder. Like, if you got it for the Xbox One, I don't feel like it'd be that difficult to get over the PS4.
Yeah,
it's just a very strange thing, right?
Oh, it's fascinating.
So
I know some people will be upset about it, but most people won't care.
Yeah. All right, let's blip and blap through here. Speaking of Fallout, the Fallout 76 Wastelander update has been pushed out to 2020.
Oh, jeez.
So if you were hoping to get NPCs into Fallout, you can't do it now. Yeah. Boo.
Yeah. Remember how you guys were excited because you're like, Fallout 76 is going to be a game. Well, turns out it's not.
Not till next year, it's not. And then let's see. The other Matt Frank is happy news is that apparently Okami's making a comeback.
Yeah, I literally found this out purely because of Matt Frank.
Yeah. I liked it a lot because Ikumi Nakamura, a.k.a. that cute girl that was working on Tokyo Ghostwire.
Oh, yeah.
Spooky. There's a video with her and Kamiya. And I love this video so much. I wish you watch it. 6 seconds long. And what happens is that Kamiya just says, Okami 2 is getting made. And then she just goes, really? And he says, yes. And then she says, okay, and just walks out of the frame of the camera. Like, it's kind of the best. It's kind of the best. So.
I fucking love Platinum, man. Kamiya is just, I love him so much.
Yeah, Okami didn't really hook me as much as I thought it was going to, but who knows? Maybe a second one will.
That's the thing is, Okami is love. The people who love Okami love Okami.
Oh yeah,
like with a passion. And it's just one of those things. It's like I get why they would like that sort of thing, but I'm also I'm a big fan of some of his other stuff that I wish would come back, like the Wonderful 101 kind of thing, and the other game that was made around the same time by that company, Beautiful Joe.
Oh yeah,
I'd love for that to be a thing again.
Yeah, well, Beautiful Joe was pre Wonderful 101, right?
Yeah,
Wonderful 101 was a Wii U game.
Yes, and it was somewhat inspired by Beautiful Joe as well.
Yeah, that's where all your little guys turn into like big hands and stuff.
Hands, swords, guns, chains, like a lot of crazy shit.
I
love that game so much.
You like draw stuff on the pad to make them change or something?
Yeah, because you like, for instance, if it was like the sword, you just made it one giant line.
Okay.
If you wanted the fist, it was like a big old circle. If you wanted the gun, you had to make the sort of gun symbol.
Okay.
If you wanted a bomb, you had to make a circle with a line in it. It's
okay. Yeah, I remember
that shit. It was the best.
So anyway, yeah, Matt Frank, possibly this week it got yes to Okami 2 and maybe to Dino Crisis. So it was
pretty exciting.
It was pretty cool. I'll tell you what I think is pretty cool, and it's the Analog Pocket.
Huh.
I don't know if you saw this thing this week, but this is a company that's made this kind of like, it's basically it's a handheld that plays Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, all by default, and then it will also play a bunch of like the Game Gear. It's got an adapter that lets you play.
So is it ROMs or the actual cartridges?
The actual cartridges.
Oh.
It also has cartridge adapters for Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket, and the Atari Lynx.
Oh wow.
And it's just kind of this real just slick little unit, right? Just a D-pad, 4 buttons, a little on and off switch, and then it's got kind of a nice big screen on it. And this is a company that made the Super NT and the Mega SG, which were like, consoles that you could put a Genesis game into and then play it.
Very popular.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's $200, which means that I'm probably not going to get one because I don't have $200 to really spend.
Yeah.
And but it also even has a dock that'll let you output to TV, like kind of Switch style.
That's kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah. And it's a real good looking little unit. Like, it's just very slick, very sleek. And apparently, in addition, it's also got some like app stuff on it where it's got like a real like chiptune composer that you can do stuff with. But yeah, it's just a nifty little unit. So
I do like how retro games are easier and easier to like play more and more as time's gone on, and legally as well.
Yeah. I actually have a bunch of old Game Boy games. So yeah, it's going to be coming sometime in 2020, and it'll be around $200.
Cool.
And last but not least, speaking of things that people want but can't afford, Michael, this one's for you. Did you see this $1,100 Spider-Man statue?
I did not.
That they're putting out. This is Sideshow and PCS Collectibles. It's a 24-inch.
Of course, it's them.
Spider-Man, based on the PS4 Spider-Man with the white Spider-Man costume. And he's kind of just he's in the middle of swinging some webs.
Sideshow. Sideshow has made me want to like just go bankrupt buying things, because they also make this super fucking cool Green Arrow one that's also like $1,200.
I think I've seen one of the ones that they made that was a Dark Souls one, or a Bloodborne one. I think,
and they have payment plans on their website.
Oh God!
And I remember staring at it, and I was just like, I could get this Green Arrow thing for easy payments of $99.95 kind of thing, and I'm just like,
for the next 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, should I?
But do I need to?
Exactly. But that Green Arrow one's really cool because there's 2 versions of it. There's one that has like the hood on, but another version that looks like his Robin Hood hat with a boxing glove arrow attached to it.
Oh, okay.
And there's probably another version of this too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous looking.
It's pretty nice.
And yeah, everything they've made so far that I've ever seen, it's just like, if I had $1 bajillion, I would just buy a lot of these and just have a room full of them.
Room full of little statues. And that is the news. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to answer some questions. So stick around. Michael, it's time for questions. Are you prepared? Do you have your answers?
I've been playing a lot of Batman, so I know how to answer riddles.
Number 2 pencil. Oh, but Jonah Hill is going to be. Wait, no. Paul Dano is going to the Riddler to Robert Pattinson's.
He's going to drink Batman's milkshake or whatever.
Batman, yeah. I got really close last night to watching that that Robert Pattinson, that High Life movie.
Oh yeah,
because it's on Amazon Prime. And then I was like,
Good Times or
what's that?
Oh, I'm thinking of another one. I think
no. It's like it's weird because the thumbnail for it is got like a helmet on that's got all this like grass and stuff in it.
One.
But it's like he's on a spaceship and they're heading for a black hole, and I'm with his daughter, and it looked real artsy, and I was like, ooh,
he's gonna go play Fortnite. That's all it is.
Maybe, yeah, that's right. It's going to the Fortnite hole. So mail@redslight.com's email address. Riddle us all of your riddlers.
Send us your pictures of Paul Dano.
Make him like old Riddler though. Like I don't like how new Riddler's just Jigsaw, and it's like old Riddler was like, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like
what's black and blue and red all over or some shit. Like just dumb shit like that.
Yeah. I love when the old Riddler came into Adam West Batman, because it was like, what's black and white and red all over? It's like newspaper, information. And it was like, what was there a South Park episode that was, or I feel like there was some show that was like that was like that, but it was like the Jeff Goldblum character from Independence Day. I think it was a South Park episode.
There was a South Park episode, but there's also the Black Dynamite one when they're trying to figure out what eventually becomes the Anaconda malt liquor thing.
Oh,
they're like, well, Venus and Mars was the god of war or whatever. Like this is a fucking like weird like tangent that makes no sense that eventually gets them to Anaconda malt liquor.
I kind of want to go back and watch the Adam West Batman movie.
I would love to do that
now.
Yeah.
Did you know that was the premiere for that was in Austin?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah,
that's why they showed it again like years later.
Because the Bat boat was made here.
That I did not know.
Yeah. Anyway, our first question this week from mail@rageslide.com comes in from Whiskey Howl of Flanders, who says, Dear Jeff and Michael, 2 questions. One, I'm moving out of my parents' house soon.
Good for you.
Rather now than getting kicked out before I turn 30 in 2 years. This gives me the opportunity to buy a new console. My last console I owned was an Xbox 360. I was wondering if it's still a good idea to buy a PS4 Pro 1 terabyte, since I never got the chance to play games like The Last of Us, Red Dead 2, Crash Team Racing, Remastered, Death Stranding, etc. Well, I haven't had the chance to play Death Stranding, but... or am I just a graying young man who is running behind the times who should just wait for the next gen to arrive? 2, by the way, you can't wait for After Party and your playthrough of This Little Marvel. Oh, you can't. I can't. By the way, can't wait for After Party and your playthrough of This Little Marvel. How would you fare in a hell like this? Would you be able to out beer pong / out drink the devil? Kind regards, Whiskey Howl of Flanders. I think if I was in my 20s, I might be able to give it a shot. But as a 40-year-old, like, I don't know, man. 6 beers and I'm done. Like,
as a sober guy, I would have immediately given up. I'm like, well, I guess I'm in the bad place now, and I just would have been fine with it.
Yeah. As far as consoles, okay, so there's a weird dichotomy, I feel like, right now. Like, okay, here's what you got. We know new consoles are coming next year.
Yeah.
So there is a question about whether you should wait till next year. Actually, this is a really good time for you to send this in, because what I would do is look for Black Friday. See what you can see either on a PS4, a Pro, Xbox One X, or maybe even an Xbox One or Xbox One S or a PS4 standard. But a lot of it is there. I feel so weird saying this, but for this person, I feel like you're kind of neck and neck. Because the thing is that if you want to play Last of Us and Death Stranding and Spider-Man and God of War and the PS4 exclusives, 100% PS4. However, as has been stated numerous times, Xbox Game Pass is fucking amazing.
It's pretty good.
And especially if the last console you have is a 360, like they put Dishonored 2 on the Game Pass not too long ago.
Well, if you have a lot of digital games too, a lot of them are backwards compatible with it.
Yeah.
I like Double Dragon Neon. I bought that on my Xbox 360, and I can play that on my Xbox One if I want.
Yeah, but they just keep shoving shit on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there's the thing is that if what you really want to play, it's a hard choice, right? Because
well, it comes down to the exclusive thing,
right?
Because my answer for this is I think you should totally get a PS4 Pro, is because a lot of the games that he's mentioning, a lot of them are exclusives, or not a lot of them, but some of them are exclusives. There's exclusive stuff to it.
Crash Team exclusive?
It's not, but there's like exclusive tracks and content and stuff.
So of the stuff that he said, Last of Us and Death Stranding, but then you've also got all the Uncharted.
Yeah, you got Spider-Man, all the Uncharted,
Spider-Man,
God of War,
Ratchet and Clank,
Ratchet Clank's Killzone. Technically, is still pretty fun.
Yeah, Shadowfall, Infamous,
the Infamous games. There's a lot of stuff on the and there's a lot of Japanese games that are only on PS4.
Yeah, Gundam Battle Operation 2 is
the Yakuza games are only on that.
Oh yeah, you get all those Yakuza games.
If you're really into anime games, most of them are on Sony systems, kind of thing. And also, the next gens are going to come out, but you always wait on the next gen systems. You should rarely ever buy a next gen system on day one, because every single time, like a year or two later, that's when you really want to get one. Like that's what happened to me with the PS4. I didn't buy one until Arkham Knight came out. Mm-hmm. That was like a year or two into its life cycle for the PS4. And because a lot of games had already come out by that point, and it just made it worth it at that point.
Yeah, no, I 100% get that. I don't know. Yeah, so maybe the answer is you get an Xbox One X, you play all of that, all the Game Pass stuff that you can get super cheap, right?
Yeah.
So you can catch up on the entire last generation just through backwards compatible stuff coming through Xbox Game Pass and cheaper stuff on their sales.
Yeah.
And then, because you know what? I was thinking about this last week, but I'm of two minds on it. One, I'm pretty sure we know the PS5 is going to have backwards compatibility to the PS4.
Yes.
Right? So if you wait until the PS5 comes out, you could technically buy a PS5 on launch if it just keep an eye on it. But if the PS5 on launch has backwards compatibility to PS4 stuff, then you could just basically spend the next year catching up on Xbox Game Pass games and the stuff that's on there, and then see what the offerings are, right?
Yeah.
See what Scarlet is going to do, see what the PlayStation is going to do. But if you do want to go back and play those games that we were just rattling off, I have a feeling that, you buy a PlayStation 5 and instead of, there's probably going to be a bigger launch for these next consoles than we've seen in a lot of the previous ones. But if they're backwards compatible, then that means that you can then play all of the backwards compatible PS4 games that you were missing once the PS5 comes out without getting a redundant console.
Well, it really depends on money at that point, though.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be way more expensive, for one.
Yeah.
And a lot of the first ones tend to have issues, like a lot of the times. Like the very first PS3s and the very first 360s all had very nasty issues that literally made them die.
Sort of, but I feel like this generation hasn't been that bad. I mean,
there's been a couple things.
I still have my stock PS4.
There's a couple things with some of them. A lot of PS4s.
You have my day one Xbox One.
I do, but I was going to bring up the fact that a lot of PS4s, some people had issues with the touch stuff not working too well.
Oh yeah.
Some people had issues where their dogs would walk by and the disc would just go be like, "Oh, you wanted to take it out," and it just flew out, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. Like you want to see how it goes first when it first comes out to make sure that there's not a lot of bugs with them, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and see where, and then eventually they might get maybe a little cheaper. Who knows? And Black Fridays, yeah, you might even get a Black Friday for that kind of thing. I still think my answer still comes down to. I still think a PS4 Pro would be a good investment for now, kind of thing, because you can get a lot of good stuff for cheap right now. Same with the Xbox One X. I think that's also a good investment because you can get the Game Pass very easily and get a lot of their stuff fairly cheap that way. At the same time, it really just comes down to what do you really want to play at this exact moment.
You know what? I'm gonna make a weird. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna pick D. None of the above. What I'm gonna say is wait for Black Friday and buy an Xbox One S, because if you don't have a 4K TV, because the thing is that if you're not already acclimatized to like what the current generation of games look like, I mean, why not just get the one that's a little bit like less powerful. And then I guess it depends on what you're planning on doing. Like if you're planning on playing Death Stranding, then PS4 Pro maybe. But the other thing is that like I was talking with I've talked to a lot of people. My PS4 Pro, when I play anything in 4K, it sounds like it's about to take off. It's about to just fucking get out of my room. Xbox One X, it's pretty quiet, but I don't know. Like the thing is that if you're looking to dip your toe back in and you have the entire last generation that you haven't played yet of games, I'd almost say if you start with the One S and you do Game Pass and then you do backwards compatible, boy, you've got enough games in there to last you for 2 years if you skip the last generation. And then that'll let you have a really, really low money entry into this generation. Also, doesn't the S do 4K video?
I actually don't know enough on that one.
I think it does. I don't know if it does 4K. I don't think it has the enhancements in the games, but I think it'll do 4K like streaming and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
I say some of it also depends on whether you have a 4K TV or not. Like
it also lets you play Red Dead Redemption 1.
That's true.
Is the thing. If you want to get a new one,
and 2. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. If you want to if you've never played Red Dead Redemption 1 and you want to play 2, then an Xbox would be a pretty good investment in that instance.
I mean, the backwards compatibility stuff lets you dip back into the 360 era.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff in there. It's weird. I never, for the first, 5 years, for the first 5 years of Rage Select, it was just like, you should probably get a PlayStation. I mean, like the backwards compatibility, okay, a little bit, but but Game Pass is really just like the fact that these $60 games are getting Felix the Reaper, right? Came out this week. It's $25 game. It's on Game Pass, right? Like
there's a lot of good stuff on, and they're constantly switching it out. It's like Netflix.
It's like $10-15 a month, and I'm getting like like $200 worth of games every month off of it. So I don't know. It really just depends on how much you want to play those games.
I think it just depends on which games you really, really want to play. Yeah. I still think a PS4 Pro is a good investment, especially if you're probably not going to get the next gen console for a while.
Yeah.
The same with the Xbox One X. If you're not going to get another next gen for a while, it really just depends on which games you want to play. Are you really into the Gear series, Halos, that kind of thing? Or are you really into like the Last of Us, Uncharted's, Spider-Man, or even the God of Wars kind of thing? But that's what it comes down to. But it's a game thing. It really just comes down to it really just comes down to the game library.
Exactly.
That's exactly why I got a PS4 originally. It's because the game library was telling me that was a good idea at the time.
But then, like, it's what's weird with the Game Pass thing that keeps coming down for me is like, there's the console stuff, but then there's also just like if you never got into this gen, then there's just so many games from this generation of systems. No, I
got you. It's just, like I said, it still comes down to the game library.
Yeah,
is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and how bad you want to play newer stuff as opposed to, because I don't know, like I envy that situation. I envy having an entire generation to catch up on because it's like you just pick all the best games from the last generation and just play those. Man, this is a good selection of stuff.
There's a lot of great stuff.
It's such a good selection of stuff.
And like I said, it just comes down to the library is really what it comes down to. Because there's a lot of the stuff that's on the PS4. It can also be out on the Xbox One.
Oh, Doom.
Like it just comes down to exclusives is really what it comes down to.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm going to give...
care that much about those exclusives?
I'm going to give you one more I'm going to give you one more. I'm going to give you a weird outlier, okay? Don't get any of them. Buy a Raspberry Pi and just play retro games for the next year and use the money that you saved to save up for a Scarlet or a PS5. Boom.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah. Also, don't ever forget. I mean, I know that this isn't a thing that this is one of the things that we used to say a lot of times was a thing to think about is. Do you have friends you want to play with online, and what platform are they mostly on?
That's also a good thing to think about as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Mauricio writes in and says, hey, Jeff, Mike. Mauricio here with another Q&A. I finally platinumed Kingdom Hearts 3, and 90% of DMC5 listed S rank. Because of trophy hunting, I was forced to become better at the game, and because of that, I enjoyed it a lot more than if I wasn't trophy hunting, like doing all the cool mini games, trying to get different move sets, etc. So the question is, with the exception of Dark Souls, Jeff, what are some games that you remember trying to get better at because of trophy hunting or playing at a harder difficulty, etc.? Thanks. That's from Mauricio And it says, P.S. CW Arrow final season is on the air, so get ready for a lot of talk on Twitter. Okay. I don't watch that show, so I don't...
I see he's got his goatee in it, at least.
Okay.
Or part of it, at least.
So... Has there been a game where you feel like you got better at the game because you were trying to get a trophy or trying to play it on a harder difficulty level, or like something where those outside components feel like they made you better at the game trying to reach a goal?
A lot of them were some shooters and fighting games.
Okay.
Specifically the Halo series, because I used to play with my friends all the time,
mm-hmm.
and we would do Legendary all the time because we were like, well, we want to get all the achievements. So we wanted, all four of us are going to play this entire thing through Legendary. And we want to get all the skulls, so we got to get really good at that part too. Like, it was just a lot of the trophy hunting gave us a reason to keep going back to the same game over and over again.
Okay.
And so the Halo games really did that. Fighting games did that for me a lot, where it's just like, get this amount of combo kind of thing with this specific character, beat arcade mode without losing. Like, it makes you, at the time, it really made me want to get better and better at it to try reaching some of these goals to see if I could. The Ghostbusters game I got better at originally because I wanted just all of the achievements for it. I was like, I want to be that dude who just completely got everything for this game. And I did that. And the same with the Spider-Man game. I was like, well, I'm just going to get everything because I'm fucking Spider-Man kind of thing. And I did. I just got way, way better at that game.
I think I only have beat it on hard and beat New Game Plus. And so I started a New Game Plus Spider-Man. And then I was like, almost as soon as I beat that game. And then I was just like, I don't want to start over again. I don't want to do this.
I did New Game. I'm actually in the middle of a New Game Plus that I should probably get back to. There's a lot of little games that I know I started doing that sort of stuff with. Devil May Cry 4 was another one that I did for a little while.
Okay.
There was one other one. I think it was a platformer of some kind. I just can't remember what it was. I think it was I want to say it was Ratchet and Clank, but it's been a long time.
Personally, my answer to this question is there's very little because I don't give a shit about achievements or trophies. I really don't. When they came out, I remember when the Xbox launched achievements, and I was like, well, do you get a discount or can you trade them in for points? And it was like, no. I'm like, well, then what are they for? It's like, just to show your friends you're better than them. And I'm like, well, I know I'm better than my friends.
Yeah,
I don't need to.
It was a dick measuring system.
I don't got to prove it. I don't got to whip it out. That's how you know. So I do
remember they eventually did kind of attach this rewards thing to it.
Yeah.
Later on.
There was one game. When I played the original Guacamelee, I loved it so much. I just loved it. I was so into that game. And when I beat the game, because I even have, because of the recording, I have all of the trophy notifications and achievement notifications turned off. So I don't even know when I'm playing whether I'm getting anything or not. And then when I got to the end of Guacamelee, it was like there were 2 achievements that I didn't have. One was beat the game on hard, and 2 was beat the last boss without getting hit at all. And I was like, well, and so Guacamelee's combat system was just so fluid, and I just finished playing it. It's only 5 hours long, and I was just like, okay. So I loaded up on hard and just skipped all the dialogue, tore ass through it, and it wasn't that hard. It's just the hardest one was, when you're trying to do something like beat the last boss without getting hit, and then you accidentally get hit one time, and you're just like, okay, all right, kill me, come on, I gotta restart this. But that was the only time that I ever. Well, not that. Oh, okay. There was that, and there was one other time, and it was with Hitman.
Oh, okay.
Is that and Hitman is actually an example of how I feel like there is one system of achievement / trophy that I like. Uncharted does this as well, where there are a bunch of achievements built into the game that map on to the actual system achievements. So with Hitman, I wanted to do 100% every level just to see everything that was in it.
Yeah.
And then when I got done 100%ing every level, and I still wanted to keep playing Hitman, and then I opened up the trophies for it, and I was just like, there's 4. I can do the 4.
Oh, okay.
And then I found out it was oh no, there's 4 for every level that it is in the game, and I'm like, well, I should probably do the escalations anyway. So I just did all the escalations. I did everything, and I'm still, it galls me though, because there's the only things, the way that Hitman is set up in their trophy system is each individual level represents a different set of trophies. And so I have 100% on everything except for the sniper levels. and there's like 2 or 3 achievements on the sniper levels that I haven't done, and it drives me fucking crazy because I don't want to do them. They're not great achievements. And the thing is that you can't save in the sniper levels.
Yeah.
So it's like there's the one for the Himmelstein level where it's like you have to wait until 8 minutes have elapsed in order to try to get this trophy. And it requires panicking the AI in a certain way to make sure you can get a triple kill out of like a explosion. And I did it like 3 times. And it was like a half hour. And I was just like, no. But other than that, like I like it when games put the trophy stuff inside of the game, and I like it when I get something. Like that's the whole reason I kept doing things on Hitman was because getting a better score meant that you got more places to start, special weapons, suits, unlocks, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like I didn't platinum Dark Souls or Bloodborne, or for that matter, because a lot of those were like make every weapon and then like get every weapon to +10, and I'm like, no. That's just grinding. I don't want to do that. That's not fun.
Exactly.
So
I did get all the achievements to Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah. So our next question comes in. Well, this is a weird one. This comes in from Nick. It's not so much a question as it is a suggestion. I want to talk about it briefly because it's kind of about Rage Select a little bit. It says, hey, Jeff and John. Well, actually, just is addressed to me. I don't want it to be like, not John. I'm sorry. John just came in and gave me his key. I'm so sorry, Michael. So sorry.
John Doe.
Hey, Jeff and Michael, but not Michael because this has kind of been directed at me. First of all, let me just say that I know nothing about making money on the internet. Have you ever thought about making game review videos? I watch a few of these myself and they seem to get a lot of hits. I'm not trying to make excuses for not being a patron, but I do have, but I not have time to watch a lot of Let's Play videos every week. But I'd be willing to pay some money for some review videos, though. Again, not sure if this would be a good option or not. Just trying to help. Big fans of Loading Bar. Wishing you success. Thanks for all the hard work. And that's from Nick. It's funny. We used to do reviews.
Yeah.
When I first started Rage Select, we used to do reviews. I was younger and a little bit more hot-tempered. And I think it was it Metal Gear Solid 5 where I reviewed it with Nick.
Sounds right.
And the comments were just like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, that I deleted the video, I deleted the audio, I deleted the webpage that it was on, and
it was
basically vowed to say I was not going to do video reviews anymore. I don't think I'd ever want to do reviews. I hate the way that people treat your review like it's some kind of...
It's difficult.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, I feel like we didn't even really give it... Well, I guess we gave stuff scores in the beginning. We did stars, right? We did 5 stars.
Something like that, yeah. Because this was even before I was doing Rage Select proper.
Yeah.
I was listening too at the time, and I do remember when you did reviews every now and then, because that's the other thing. The difficult thing about reviews is that you have to finish the game first, but you also do videos for all of these games.
Yep.
So the time is not there.
It was. I feel like. See, what's weird is that I feel like the reason that it stopped being feasible was, as I've complained about a lot of times before, because games just started getting way longer.
Yeah.
And so it used to be that, like, I used to review a game every week on Spill because there wasn't really that many games. I mean, outside of JRPGs and
well, it also just wasn't you as the thing.
Yeah. Well, but I did. I mean, I was on the lion's share of the reviews for that. But I mean, like most new games that came out, you could beat in 12 hours, right?
Yeah.
Dead Space isn't a 20-hour game. It's like an 8 to 10 hour game.
Yeah.
And then just as this stuff has started to grow longer and longer, it's become difficult to. I've talked with you about this. I've talked on the podcast a lot about this. 8 hours is like, one Saturday from noon to 8, or like 2 4-hour chunks of 2 days, like over the weekend.
Something in a week,
right? Yeah.
Like if you just play it for a couple hours,
yeah,
kind of thing.
Whereas at 20 hours, I mean, what you're talking about, like 2 10-hour days of playing to get to the end of a thing, and it's just like,
and you have to be really invested to do that kind of situation.
Yeah, even games I like, I don't tend to play for that long. Like I just get tired of I mean, playing any game for 10 hours is just it's kind of a marathon. So then what you're talking about, what 6 and a third hour, 6 hour and 20 minutes. And it's like, that's 3 marathon days. And just, I don't know. It's just become the sort of thing where it's very difficult to, like, I still beat a game if I like it.
Yeah.
But it used to be like when I worked at Spill, that was part of my job description. And so every week I would just pick a game, beat it, do a review, whether it was just me or everybody or whatever. On Rage Select in the beginning, I kind of tried to keep that up. But a lot of it became that the game started to get longer. And then I just didn't really like the feedback that I was getting on it because, I don't know, people would just get real shitty about, when they disagree with you.
Well, that's the thing about reviews. People see your review for some reason as an extension of who you are.
Yeah.
And they'll hold a grudge kind of thing is the other thing. Like I've noticed that with like One of Us as well.
Yeah.
Because you'll be like, oh, I liked this movie more than, or I give this movie a slightly higher rating than this one other movie.
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, why did you fucking say that like the Thor versus whatever was like 3, but this other one was like 4? Like, why is that better than that? It's like, well, that's not, like, I'm not comparing the two. That's not how this works. But people will treat it that way. And people were really shitty about it for like no reason because of it.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
I've thought for a time about making videos. It was a suggestion from somebody that I know, and I just haven't really gotten around to it, mostly because the Rage Select just expands to fill up my entire life. Like this week, I've just been crazy. Like yesterday, I started recording at 4 in the afternoon, and I stopped at like 10:30. And I did that on Tuesday, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's been nutty. And so then, like, even when you're off, like you have a day off, and like I should be trying to beat Indivisible, but I'm like, I just want to watch Gundam. I don't really want to. I've been playing video games for like 8 hours today.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do something else right now. But I've thought about making videos where you just basically hit the record button and go, I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah.
But then I don't know that really comes across as the same. Like when people do that, a lot of times they do scripts, and I don't really know how to write a script for that sort of thing. Like I've thought about doing video essay stuff, but I just don't feel like I know how to do it. I'm so used. Everything we do is ad hoc, right? Yeah. None of it is scripted. And so the few times that I've tried to do like a scripted or a narrative thing, a lot of times, I'll be trying to get like the perfect take, and I don't really know exactly what I want to say, and I start tripping over my words, and I get unsure about whether I should be saying a thing. So
you're like, is this Dragon Ball Z reference work here?
Right. So I don't know. We used to do them, and a lot of it is I don't know that I want to get into the. Of course, I don't know. It's funny. We're going to talk about this in the next question, but like the comment section on Gundam Battle Operations 2, where Matt and I, we're playing this game for the first time, and there's a lot of people who really like this game and who are just like, it is physically painful to watch you two play this game. And I'm just like, okay, well, don't watch it, man. Like, just turn it off. Like, turn it off and downvote it. Why tell me? Like, the thing is, I can't do anything with that comment. If you said, so a lot of people in the early comments were like, you need to do the advanced tutorial. And I was like, I know how to play video games. I don't need to do the advanced tutorial. And then I did the advanced tutorial, and I'm like, no, I really did need to do the advanced tutorial. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that is, 1, unintuitive, and 2, essential to playing that game that they just do not tell you in the tutorial. However, on the other hand, we were just trying to make like a first impression, like 40-minute joke.
Yeah.
The fact that video it's done what the hits that it's done was never our intention.
Like, I still think it's hysterical that like the higher rating Gundam one was the one that I'm not the guy who knows a lot about Gundam.
Yeah. The one time. And I'm like, come on, guys. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I mean, like, the internet still gets under my skin a little bit. It's hard. It's hard when a lot of people are telling you that you're bad, to not just be like, I don't know, maybe I am bad. Like I'm not a big bald swinging dick like confident guy who's just like, out of my way, plebeians, I'm the greatest video game man of all time.
Yeah, we're not like tournament level players of anything,
right?
Like at all.
So like
not from lack of trying, but
and especially back in the old days when we used to get more hits, right? When there was a larger audience. I mean, there's also were like maybe 24 people who came to Rage Select from Spill who were just kind of contrarian dicks. I mean, like, not to be, I never banned anybody. They eventually left because I wouldn't fight them, but they were just, for like years, we would just have the same person with the same name being a contrarian dick face and everything. There was a guy on Facebook.
I got to fights with him a lot.
One of the few people that I muted on Facebook who just like, he'd listen to every podcast, specifically listening to me, and if I ever said anything that wasn't right, that was the comment. Jeff doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I can't believe you don't do your research on this shit. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I'm not running like a multi-million. I'm not the editor of IGN. I'm the editor of like out of my house Rage Select.
We're not CNN or some shit.
You know,
we don't have like 4 guys looking up something for us at some point.
Plus, yeah. So anyway, and I don't want this to come off, Nick, like I'm not hammering on you. I just want to say we used to do it. I don't take it very well because again, there's that weird thing where people get, like you were saying, people get their identity connected to a game, and then you say the game is bad, and they're like, no, it's not, and it's like, well, it is, but I'm not saying you're bad.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying you're a terrible person.
Also, I think the game is bad. There's no universal quality indicator here.
Yeah.
You know, some people like shitty movies, some people like good movies, some people like all the movies in between. So
I will not fight you, like ever, when it comes to that sort of thing.
Except on the question of what is a sandwich.
I fought you on the tortilla thing was the issue.
So speaking of which, we'll get over to Discord. Jonathan Scratch says, I'm sorry, but I've got to ask this. How is it the Gundam Battle Operation 2 dojo has 13,000 views? And of this message is writing on the 13th. What do you think it is about this dojo that's got such a large response? Do people just love giant robots that much? I know I do. And I also love this site channel community. So don't stop being badass. That's from Jonathan Scratch.
It's a fact that chicks love giant robots. Chicks dig giant robots.
Chicks dig giant robots, man. So the answer is I don't know.
It's just one of those happy accidents.
What happened is we tripped over the algorithm, and like here's my notion. Matt and I recorded that like in the evening of the day the game came out. It had no puppet intro, so I rendered it out. And then at 10 a.m., I couldn't sleep that day. That was the week I couldn't sleep. So at 10 a.m., after I'd been tossing, turning, I just put it up. Like I had the thumbnail and everything, and I just put it up. So it was earlier than I normally put stuff up, waking up at fucking 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it was the day after it came out, and it was the week that Breakpoint came out, and everybody that had bought the $80 version of Breakpoint had early access to Breakpoint.
Oh, yeah.
And so I feel a lot of people were probably playing that and ripping on it. And then just I was like, I don't know, here's a Gundam game. I thought it was kind of cool. And I think it just hit the algorithm. It's an anime game. It's a thing that people are way into. Obviously, from the comments, there are a lot of people who take this game really, really, really seriously.
Yes.
And somehow it just hit because as of 5 days after your comment, it is now at 17,000 views.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This happened to us once a long time ago. There was a game called Spartacus Legends.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And Jason and I, this is back when Rage Select used to get like, 3,000 to 4,000 hits per video. Jason and I put up this Spartacus Legends game. This video has 31,000 views, and we could never figure out, like, what? And then it was also Jason and I, this is early Rage Select, this is in 2013.
Yeah.
And Jason and I were just like, dude, this game sucks. It's a shitty fucking Spartacus tie-in game. Fuck Spartacus. And if you like Spartacus, fuck you too. And so the comment section was just like, no, fuck you. I like Spartacus. And I'm like, and we just sat there and I just watched it. It was like normal videos 3,000. And it was just 7,000, 10,000, 12,000, 14,000. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. The same happened to Amanda and I with the Leisure Suit Larry.
That was the last time it happened.
Every so often, you just hit the algorithm the wrong way.
It's a trending thing somehow. Like somehow you trended specifically for that thing, and everybody watched it.
So Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry, last year, about almost a year ago, is 11,000 views. And that was back when we were still getting 2,000 or 3,000 views per video. I also have no idea. I mean, like, I've said this before. It's kind of what I was talking last week is Rage Select has 12,000 subscribers and we get 500 hits per video now. And it's like, people should accidentally be clicking on the video more than they are.
It's just strange.
So there's no telling what the hell YouTube is doing.
YouTube SEOs, it's a whole fucking thing, guys. You guys have no idea.
Yeah. And like nobody knows, so you get these people that are just like, I figured it out. It's got to be 14 minutes long. You got to have 2 mid-roll ads.
You got to not curse for like 3 minutes.
Don't curse for 2 minutes and 55 seconds. That's how long the algorithm listens.
And then you got to sacrifice a goat like at the 5 minute mark.
Yep.
Exactly. If
Yep.
not, then the demons come out and your video fucks. It's like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah. So I have no idea, Jonathan Scratch.
SEOs,
Let's see. Man. Drake Kaz writes in and says, Jeff, Fetty or Xeon? Also, I tried to find the Rage Select Clan and Gundam Battle Operations 2, but I couldn't find it. Oh, no. And then there's a PS there about Patreon and saying they love Rage Select. So thank you for loving Rage Select.
Thank you, sir.
I was going to say you found it, right? But I think the only way to search for it is by the clan initials, right?
Yes, you have to look up RSE.
Yep.
So Roger, Sam, Elliot, I guess.
Yeah,
I think that's an actual character name now you think about it.
Well, Sam Elliott, I mean,
yeah.
Big mustache.
It might be part of it.
As far as Federation or Xeon, that's a good question. I don't know.
That's a tough question. I personally would say I'm a Fetty kind of thing, only because I'm a big fan of a lot of those Gundam suits and so some of those characters on the Fetty side, like Hayato and Kai and all them.
Yeah, me too.
But there's a lot of shitty Fetty guys. That's the thing.
Yeah, it was so weird because I actually went back and watched half of like the first episode of Gundam, like the 0079 Gundam.
Yeah.
And the first thing that struck me was like how the title is like it's like a Voltron or Manzinger title sequence that has like a song and everything. Let's
upbeat.
go Gundam, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, Shiro from 08th MS Team is probably my favorite. Was he the main guy? Shiro, right?
I think so. It's been a while since I've seen 08th MS Team.
Because I like his team a lot. And in that one, there's some of the Xeon guys that are a little more honorable. Like the main guy sucks, right?
Yeah.
His sister, and then the kind of some of the people around him. It was funny though because we were talking last week. I finally got around to watching Thunderbolt, and like it kind of started out, and I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. We kind of got this jazz versus easy listening, and like, what's going on? But then the more that just went on, I'm like, is the Federation guy crazy? Is he a sociopath?
He's absolutely insane.
Like, because he kind of seems
serial murderer,
like a crazy person. And then like, there's just so much. Like when I was watching Origin, like so many of the Federation guys are just so fucking condescending, where they're just like, well, here comes Xeon. Oh goody, we're gonna kick them all in the butts real easy, like, and it's like, oh no, we got killed instead.
Oh, Xeon is fucking crazy. But here's the reason why I will not be on Xeon's side.
Yeah,
because Xeon has dropped 2 colonies on the planet Earth.
True.
They wiped out literally the continent of Australia.
True. Well, in the Origin, what they talk about how like after they did all the math, it's like the colony drop was 50% of all humanity was killed. Also, the stuff in Mobile Suit Gundam Origin leading up to the colony drop, and there's like a weird like, here's something to make you feel sad. And I was like, oh, come on.
There's this whole like subplot of 2 of the characters living on that colony. And then, but yeah, there's a great moment in 0080 where there's a guy, he's pretending, he's trying to pretend to be a Federation guy to sneak in somewhere. And they're like, so, where are you from? He's like, Australia? And he's just like, oh, really? Which part of Australia are you from? He's like, Sydney, I guess. He's like, okay, here's the thing, motherfucker. Australia was wiped out ages ago, and one of my best friends lived in that area, so I'm gonna beat your ass now.
Also, I didn't. I mean, like, it's really obvious, and I don't know. I think it's kind of easy to kind of gloss over when when like the animation and the animation quality of like old Gundam is a little bit lower, and then like 08th MS Team, which is the one I've seen the most, is not quite as putting us forward. But like when you watch Origin, it's like, oh, Xeon's Germany.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
Like
they know full well what's going on.
Like the fact that the Zaku's wear the German helmets from World War II with the sloped sides on them, and like all of the regalia that the kind of red and yellow kind of stuff.
Well, they're straight up like yelling out "Sig Xeon."
You're right, and they hold their hands
yeah,
up.
They're super giddy about it.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh, like because that's the thing is like the Federation. There's a lot of giant jerks in the Federation.
Yeah,
but Xeon is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like even like some great guys in Xeon too, like Rambo Rao. He's easily one of my favorite characters in all of anime. I love that dude, but he's part of Xeon, but he's not really part of Xeon at the same time.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other guys, like all of the Zabi family, you're like, fuck all of those people.
Except for Dozel. I like Dozel's. He's such a maroon. Like
that and Garma's just an idiot, is really what it comes down to.
I was watching Garma. I'm like, Garma, did you come from Attack on Titan? Because all you do is cry.
He cries
this whole
a lot.
series, you just cry the whole time.
And then his best friend betrays the shit out of him.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of Gundam recently.
I love Gundam.
I've had this idea. So I think it's actually the guy that wrote in about the trophies who's been trying desperately to basically get me to do the Dragon Ball watch that like Giant Bomb has done. But there's a part of me that's like, I kind of want to watch all of Gundam in chronological order of the like starting with the origin.
Oh, okay.
And then going into 0079 and then just like
going all the way,
splitting the side stories as they come
like
out.
Unicorn.
And then like every week doing a 30-minute podcast about one episode of Gundam.
So long.
I know. It would basically be Forever Project because you know what? You go from the origin to 0079 and then like
well, because you do
Thunderbolt
Origin,
slots in
79,
there. 08th MS Team slots in
yeah,
there.
and then you get to 0080.
Right.
And then you get to 0083.
But then you got also in there though you've got Thunderbolt 2 is in there.
You also have Thunderbolt 2 right after 0080, I guess.
And then what? Charge Counterattack after no.
Wait, no, hold on. Wait, there's I think there's a character in 0083 that does show up in another one of them. But yeah, eventually you get
Charge Counterattack.
Zeta. And you got Double Zeta.
Oh god, yes.
And then you have. I think there's some stuff in between that.
Is F91 in there as well?
Yes, I think it is. I would have to look into that.
I thought that was UC.
I think it. That's the issue with some of these timelines. They're fucking crazy. And then because eventually you have to get to Unicorn, and then you got to get to Unicorn Narrative,
right?
And then if you want to, you can watch G Reconquista. Because that technically is in that timeline, but I fucking hate G Reconquista with a passion. It's a whole thing, guys.
And then we start on Wing.
Yeah.
Every week I hate Wing Gundam.
One of these days I will show you Mobile Fighter G Gundam. I would love to show that to you. And I really like. There's a lot of timelines that do actually have sequels, but out of all of them, the UC timeline is really the longest. Oh, shit. I just remembered. There's one that we would end up having to watch that I don't know if I would want to do.
Oh.
The live-action movie is part of the UC timeline.
Oh, man. I have only heard the stories.
That movie is fucking weird. But that suit is really cool looking.
All right. IT Johan writes in and says, hello, gracious hosts. In high school, I came across a book I think was called Web about spiders enslaving humanity and making us into cattle. But I've never found the book again, nor the title or the premise of the story. At this point, I'm questioning if the week I read it was nothing more than a fever dream, but I remember the book so vividly. So my question is there a piece of OG media you remember vividly, but you can't find it anywhere? Keep on raging on. That's from IT Johan. I think I've managed to dredge up anything from my childhood that I mean, there was definitely stuff that I remembered, but, you know, it comes up every so often. Like, I remember I was at, Brian Salisbury had a party one time where he was just showing, like, 80s toy commercials on the TV, and I was just like, oh, I remember all that stuff.
The internet has made it very hard to actually have that issue happen anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember when I was growing up, Masked Rider, I had a hard time convincing people that Masked Rider was a show that existed. If for the people who don't know, Masked Rider was the American version of Kamen Rider Black and Black RX. But as a kid, I knew it existed, but I couldn't get my friends to realize that it was a thing because it was only on for like a season. And like and Power Rangers is the reason it dominated. It didn't do well here because people wanted giant robots instead of just the dude who kicked things and they exploded.
Yeah.
But I was really into the dude who kicked things and they exploded. So I really liked the show. And so for years, I was trying to convince people that Masked Rider was a thing. because my cousin had the toys, but I didn't have a way of taking pictures and then just going to my friends and be like, look, this is the toy. It exists. Like, I swear to God.
Yeah.
And then when the internet became a thing and YouTube really started up, this is also...
You just look it up on YouTube.
I would just look it up, and I'm like, hey, look, here's the intro to Masked Rider. And the thing is, that's how I accidentally got into Kamen Rider originally.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at Masked Rider, and then I found Kamen Rider 555, and then I got obsessed with that, and then, I got obsessed with Kamen Rider. But that's the thing with a lot of forgotten media, I'm using quotes, is because now it's just like, well, I remember this premise. I remember the premise of it, kind of, and I'll just type that into Google and it'll be like, do you mean this thing? You're like, yes, it's exactly what I meant, kind of thing. Like, people will be like, you remember when the Mortal Kombat had a cartoon? And back in the day, you would be like, that's stupid. Why would Mortal Kombat, the game where you rip people's head off, have a cartoon? And it would be very easy to dismiss something like that. Yeah. But now you just Google Mortal Kombat cartoon and Defenders of the Realm pops up and its intro and its IMDb page kind of thing.
I think that for me, it's just that whenever any thought like that goes through my head, I just sit down and within 10 minutes I found it on Google.
Exactly.
Like I went through one day and was just sitting here watching a playlist on YouTube that was just 80s cartoon intros. Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh right. Starcom. I remember I had a bunch of Starcom stuff. That was the NASA like sponsored weird space adventure thing. But then the other thing is that there are whole channels, right? So you type in Starcom on YouTube and there's like that one toy channel. It's just like, what was Starcom? And it's just a 20-minute video of them talking about like, here's all this shit and where it came from. But the main issue that I have is that as I've gotten to become an adult, because of the time that we live in, Michael, they keep rehashing my childhood. Yeah. I literally don't have time to forget it. I mean, like, I will never forget Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark because the illustrations are so goddamn frightening. Yes. But, like, I hadn't thought about it in a long time. They're like, well, they're making a movie. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I remember that. Like,
I'm waiting for the Silverhawks to come back.
I don't think you want that. I don't think you know what you're asking for.
Your silence is exactly the answer I wanted, though.
I want the Centurions to come back.
Centurions, yeah.
Power Extreme. I mean, those are like fucking what, a foot and a half tall action figures.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember all that shit, and then I'll go through Jags where I get drunk and watch Transformers the movie over and over again. Like, I've forgotten my childhood.
There's plenty of things where you're like, yeah, I remember this anime about a vampire dude with like a mouth on his hands. Like, oh, it's Vampire ID. You just type that in and it pops up right away. Yep, like, it's so easy now.
Yeah, and also because I do this channel is literally like part of my living. I think about old games all the time. Yeah, and I've got access to a lot of them because we're in such a nostalgic time period. Exactly. It's like, it's hard to forget. It's hard, honestly, for me to forget. I mean,
the other thing is half of my YouTube recommendeds because of my roommate are basically, hey, you remember this cartoon? And it's like a 10 list of the cartoons that you kind of remember in the 90s. Yeah. But you might have forgotten. Like, it's literally impossible to forget them now because somebody keeps remembering them and they make a video on it. Well, every single time.
It's internet currency, right? Yeah. Like there's that pushing up roses, I think is the name of the channel. It's this lady that just does like Murder She Wrote reviews.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And that's like her whole shtick, right? So like, if I wanted to, we could make a podcast that was just, I mean, look at what Grant has been doing with this podcast. You and I could sit here and review every episode of Silverhawks one show at a time, and it would probably be more popular than the videos that we're making on YouTube.
I think my favorite weird podcast.
I remember Silverhawks.
Exactly. My favorite weird podcast I ran into was it was a husband and wife. The husband has the wife watch Dragon Ball Z episodes, and she reviews them. But she has him watch Gilmore Girls episodes, and he reviews those. And this was on my recommended feed on Facebook for like a week. And I think it was just called like
Goku Girls.
It was something like that. It was like. I think it was called Gilmore Ball Z. I think was the name of the podcast or something like that. And I actually did listen to it for like 3 weeks because I was fascinated by like this dude like giving these long explanations for Gilmore Girls. Yeah. And the wife giving long explanations for Dragon Ball Z episodes right after that. I'm like, this is fascinating. That we live in a world where you can't forget anything and you can make weird podcasts based on them.
Yeah. We can make an Automan podcast.
Yes, an Automan.
Automan.
Yeah, we can talk about Automan and then talk about Knight Rider and its reboot.
Yep.
And it's and the fact they want to make more of it or something.
Dude, fuck
Ghostbusters just wrapped up, by the way. The filming for the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
Just wrapped up today for the filming.
Again, yeah. We got what? There's Terminator's going to be in the theater next week, and I'm so yeah. I don't. The answer is that like everybody keeps reminding me of my childhood, so
yeah, and mine is slowly coming back up.
Yep. Yes. Millennial or early old millennials, you're next. They already did it. I just couldn't have been more tickled when it's like, oh, they made a Power Rangers movie and it sucked, and I'm like, ha 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 ha.
They're making a Thundercats show with lols or whatever.
Welcome to my world. This is just the beginning.
It really is, guys.
Because I had the A-Team and the Mod Squad and all those shitty Charlie's Angels. No, of course, Charlie's Angels never gone away.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's coming out.
Charlie's Angels coming out. Yeah. That's why I want to watch a movie like that Shadow movie, because I'm like, hey, this isn't something from my childhood that they've decided to make it to a movie.
Unless it's The Shadow.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson the first time with The Shadow. Never watch The Shadow, always watch The Phantom.
Yeah.
Billy Zane. Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, we got a few more. Septum Sin writes in and says, I have just recently come to finish The Last of Us sequential, and in a way I feel I have accomplished something. I've seen a few of them all the way through and thought, since you have a number of them under your belt, maybe you could answer some sequential questions. Is there a sequential that has been shown as most popular? Out of the ones completed, which is your favorite, least favorite? For me, my favorite was Deadly Premonition, as I would laugh most of the time when I watched you play. And for my least favorite, I wouldn't know, as I usually stop a sequential after the third episode if I don't feel it's worth running through. Okay. In any case, thanks for all the laughs and fun, and that's from Septum Sin. I can tell you that I don't keep track of the numbers.
Okay.
It's become a fool's errand, and I feel like focusing on numbers ends up, for me, just... Our numbers have never been up or down. They've always just kind of been steady. And then recently there was some algorithm change, and now they're just so. As far as favorite sequentials, boy, that's a good question.
I haven't seen them all because there's a lot of them that are only on Patreon, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of them that are only on Patreon.
Yeah.
That I barely just got access to.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You should have just told me.
Well, it was one of those things. It's a time thing.
Yeah.
Now that I have access to it, there's so much of it, guys. You have no fucking idea just how much Patreon playthroughs there are.
Let's see.
There's a Link to the Past one.
Metal Gear. Okay, so here's Revengeance, Hitman and Hitman 2, back-to-back. Detroit, Demon Souls, Resident Evil 7, Dark Souls 3, Darksiders, and then before Darksiders, I believe it was Dark Souls, Asura's Wrath, Bloodborne, The Old Hunters, Dark Souls 2. There's a little bit of a weird pattern here. That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
Dead Space, Last of Us, Link to the Past, Max Payne 2, and Metal Gear Solid. And then for the main one, I don't even know. Like, it's so hard to find these things because YouTube is just like...
Well, there's the Arkham games.
Well, there's the early Rage Select right with Jason and I. So it was Undead Nightmare, Arkham Asylum.
Was Arkham City one?
No, we never did Arkham City.
That's right.
Force Unleashed 2 and Bulletstorm. Those were like... And then Metal Gear Solid 3. Because I made the trailer for the first 4, and then for Metal Gear Solid 3, as Jason and I did that, which was the weirdest. Jason wasn't really playing along well, not that he wasn't playing along, it's just that I take Metal Gear Solid 3 very seriously, and Jason Murphy is Jason Murphy, and you can't ask somebody to take Metal Gear seriously if they don't want to. So,
and he definitely did not want to.
And he didn't. Obviously, there's the Red Dead Redemption 2 that we're doing right now. Mass Effect 2, I did that with Grant.
No.
Darkness 2 I did with Salisbury.
The Uncharted one.
Uncharted with Grant
as well.
Yeah. Vanquish with Matt. Let's see. I can't really
There's
tell.
Until Dawn with Brian.
Oh, yeah. Until Dawn with Brian, and Alan Wake with Amanda. In fact, and then Amanda and I also did
the Until Dawn one's one of my favorites because I wish I could do this because I'm not a good editor. There's a point where you and Brian were like, we haven't got anybody killed at all whatsoever. I think we're gonna make it through the whole thing, and I just would love to do an It's Always Sunny opening where it's just like Brian and Jeff get everybody killed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Matt and I did BioShock Infinite.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I think that might be it. Amanda and I. Oh no, Amanda and I did Doom. And then we also did Evil Within 2. That was a really good. I would rank that one up high because that one was the first time that we ever played through a game blind on the show.
Yeah.
Doom was so fun. I fucking love Doom so much.
Doom is so good, guys.
It's just every week, every time that we tear every demon, it's just like I love it. I mean, I really enjoyed Bloodborne, and I think that Bloodborne, out of all the Souls game that we played, John enjoyed that one the most. So I feel like him and I had the most fun doing maybe that one. I was really surprised at Detroit, we even played all the way through Detroit, because it wasn't a game that I expected to do, and then it just ended up being very good. Resident Evil 7 with John was super fun because we did RE7 and all the DLC for it.
Oh, okay. So
we also, and I hadn't played. Have you played the DLC for Resident Evil 7?
I've seen some of it, not the whole thing.
Man, so spoiler alert for Resident Evil 7. Go play Resident Evil 7. You'll play Resident Evil 7. In Resident Evil 7, how Jack gets killed at the end. So the DLC for it is Jack's brother, who lives in the swamp, and he's just like a swamp Cajun hillbilly.
Yeah.
And Jack is still alive. Okay, unlike all the rest of Resident Evil, Jack's brother, you punch zombies. He's just like a fucking hillbilly brawler, and you'll like lift up like dead logs and just eat the grubs that are underneath them, and you're just like, oh, that's good. And so you're trying to you're trying to say it's the end of Zoe or whatever one, where she's like crystallized, and you're trying to cure her, and so you're trying to go back out of the swamp to the mansion. That DLC ends with you finding a box of prototype umbrella gauntlets that let you super punch every zombie. So you're just a super punch hillbilly man. It's great. It's great.
That's what I hear about that, actually.
Yeah. There's the road one where you're playing blackjack. You get captured by the brother.
Because there's 3 of the DLCs, right?
I think there's there's
3 or 4
the escape room.
Yeah.
There's Not a Hero with Chris Redfield. There's blackjack, and then there's also the End of Zoe. So 4. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love all my babies. Which one's your favorite, Michael?
I'm a big fan of the Until Dawn one.
Yeah,
to be honest, because you're just guys just. Oh my god.
Well, that was also, I guess Until Dawn was. I hadn't played through that before.
Yeah, you and Brian had never played that game, and it was just a lot of you guys going, "What do we do?" It's like, should I hit the dog? Should I not hit the dog? It's just like you guys made terrible decisions.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny when I played Mass Effect 2 with Grant, and he spent the entire game shitting on Tally. And
that's right.
And the only reason he did it was to make people angry with him.
It was pretty amazing, guys.
Fuck Tally. And I'm just like, oh, you don't know what you're in for.
It was a great running gag that I was all for.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt and I had some really good conversations when we played Vanquish. That was another one where we just kind of got into like just talking. So yeah, and
we were working on doing another sequential soon.
Yeah. By the time this comes up, I think we'll have already chosen. We put up a poll. Shall we tell what's trending on the poll? We're at 94 votes right now, and woo! God of War is at 28 votes. Spider-Man, or God of War 2018. Spider-Man 2018 is at 27 votes. BioShock is at 27 votes.
Oh, Jesus.
BioShock, Spider-Man, and God of War are like neck and neck right now.
BioShock's come from behind, because earlier it was like at 20.
Yep. The other 2 options were Warhammer, Space Marine, and Shadow Warrior, which I always thought those 2 were dark horses anyway. So. It went up to 100 votes, and God of War is now 2 votes ahead.
God of War's going for it, guys. Dad of War.
I don't know how long we're going to leave this up, because you never played that game.
I never played it, so it would be completely fresh for me.
I really want to go back and I mean, I loved playing that game so much. All right, let's see. We got two very quick hypothetical questions to wrap up. Vanish Knight says, hey, Jeff and Michael, this is not a video game related question. I just wanted to add to your food related questions. For a burger in which you replace the buns with lettuce, is it still a burger or a lettuce wrap?
God damn it.
I have a friend who is gluten intolerant and gets lettuce wrap burgers if there's no gluten-free bun option. Sincerely eating a burger, from Vanish Knight.
I will give you the answer that Peter Ponemus said back in Harvey Birdman.
Okay.
Where he's just like, a sandwich without bread isn't a sandwich. It's meat with mustard on your hand.
I'm going to say, as per my previous thing, I technically think you can call it a sandwich, but I don't think you should, because if you're eating a lettuce wrap, it's because of some kind of dietary thing, and you don't want to confuse lettuce wrap and sandwich.
I think with burger, though, I think you could technically call it a burger because it is a burger. It's a piece of burger meat. So you could.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Yeah, a burger. I would have no problem calling it a burger.
I would have no problem with that because people do that stuff all the time.
But I don't get hung up on this bullshit. I don't care.
But yeah, a sandwich. I will always think of that Peter Ponemus though.
Let's see. Seymour writes in and says, "Dear Jeff and Michael, let's bring the old shit back. It's time for a hypothetical. This question is for you and Michael. A magical genie will grant you anything you wish, but will give your worst enemy twice as much of what you wished for. Thanks for answering my questions. I listen to podcasts every Sunday night while I play my PS4. Keep the rage alive." And that's from Seymour. So, magical genie will grant you anything you wish, but it will give your enemy. Give your worst enemy twice as much of what you wish for. I will wish for mental health and stability, and take that. And I don't have enemies. I don't know anybody. Like I
feel like your commenters sometimes are your enemies.
Yeah, but they're not my worst enemies.
Well, aren't they though?
You know what? You know what? Here's what happens. I want $1 million, and then you know what I get? I get $3 million, because just like the band Lit, I'm my own worst enemy.
God damn it. That's a tough one. I know who my worst enemy is. I haven't seen this person in quite some time.
Ooh, Darth Vader.
I don't remember his name anymore, but I still, if I ever see him again, I will murder him.
Is that Scottish duck from DuckTales, or the Irish duck, or what? So who's the other duck?
Glomgold?
Yeah, that guy.
Flintlock Glomgold?
Yeah, that guy. See your worst enemy?
No, but I wish he was, because that dude was awesome. At least the new one is. No, there's that's a tough one.
You're gonna be a dick. You'd be like, I want a lot of herpes.
No, no. Wait,
How did I get all this herpes?
Well, there's an easy thing I could do, because what would this guy do with these? Is I would wish for I would wish for a movie accurate replica of the Ghostbusters proton pack that makes noises and everything.
Right.
Because I know full well if he got one, he'd be like, what am I going to do with these? And then he would have nothing to do with them.
Right.
Because it's not like he's going to get rich or anything. He has two of them.
Here, Seymour, I'm gonna have to chisel on your question a little bit, because here's the thing. Would you have a problem saying, I want $10 million, and then your worst enemy got $20 million, and you're like, what the fuck do I care? I got $10 million. Like, I don't give a shit. Like,
well, I hate this guy enough to be like, I don't want to give him anything.
Oh, okay.
You actually would find useful.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's just me. And it's a long story of why I hate this person. And it's a whole thing.
I wish for a deeper relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ. You get double Jesus.
You're going to super heaven.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to super heaven, and I'm going to regular heaven. I'm never going to see you again.
Exactly. Let that be your problem now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's too many outs in this question.
There's a lot of outs in this question.
I wish magic was real. So what is it, like super real for this guy? Or just like...
Yeah, how would that work? Yeah, what do you think about? Like, what if you're just like, I wish for more genies? And it's just like, does he get more genies than you? What is the question of that?
I wish that I never had to go to the bathroom ever again. What happens then, genie?
Does he have to go to the bathroom real bad? Like, how does that work?
He never has to go to the bathroom, and he never had to go to the bathroom in his entire life.
How does that work?
Is that double the amount of not going to... See, it works fine when you're just asking for, like, I wish I got a Werther's original, and then he's like, I got 2 Werther's originals, but... I guess. I shouldn't assume my worst enemy's gender. I don't even know who it is.
Never know. Never know.
Yeah. Maybe you ask for a lightsaber, and then your worst enemy gets a Darth Maul lightsaber, and then you can have a battle with them while Duel of the Fates plays, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
There you go.
And I would totally win that.
Bam! Bam!
I know I would win that fight because I have the high ground.
Because I know he doesn't know a shit about Star Wars. I'm going to stand up on this curb and be like, "Don't do it, motherfucker." I think it's easy, man. You just ask for something abstract. I wish for everybody to live a happy and contented life.
I wish for the Pandora's box.
Yes.
So he gets twice as many Pandora's boxes.
Yes. Yeah, it waffles between like, 1, wish for something and I don't give a shit. 2, wish for something abstract where I just want to see what happens. And then 3, the punitive wish where you're just like, I wish I had lots of debt. It's like,
just run off.
Take that. I wish, yeah. So anyway, that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. Mail@ragelight.com. Go to the thing. Come to the thing if you're in Austin.
Come to the
Nomad
Attack of the Pod People.
Yeah,
Nomad Friday
the 25th,
8 p.m. $3.
Yep.
Look it up on the Facebooks.
You got to get it. You got to register ahead of time.
Jeff, you did share it on Twitter? Is what you said?
I think I did, but I'll probably do it again at some point.
We'll try to share it. We'll try to share it.
I try not to share more than one thing a day. I don't want to overload it. I don't want my worst enemy to know anything about me. I want to share more than one thing a day.
Also, if you want to join the Gundam clan, just look up RSE.
RSE.
On the clan by tag, I think, or something is what it's called.
I check it every day. I actually ran out of the monthly rewards.
Oh, really?
I did them all.
Okay.
And they don't reset for another 2 days. And I'm just like, oh, how am I into this game? This is weird.
This game's great, guys.
Anyway. Thanks, everybody. Bye.